Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. You know, stories start many different ways. But this one began modestly enough with a 0 on a typewriter. That's right, cipher, naught, nothing. But to one man of Chicago's 4 million, that 0 meant death.
At this point, may I take just a moment, which might normally be utilized for an opening sales message, to say a word concerning the show you're about to hear. This year, more than ever before, the mystery program is a good radio buy. Low in cost, high in appeal, mysteries are doing standout jobs for a growing list of enthusiastic advertisers. As Variety sums it up, the crime sagas enjoy a per-point rating payoff calculated to make the sponsors do handsprings. And that goes double for Night Beat. Even if you're not the type for handsprings, you will be interested in what this new mystery can do for you. Spearheaded by the hard-hitting dialogue of its star, Frank Lovejoy, Night Beat provides rugged realism tailored to today's radio tastes. It has all the spine-tingling qualities which attract large audiences. Contact your NBC sales representative for complete information on this fast-moving program designed to make yours a fast-moving product.
Mine is a funny kind of a job. When that evening sun goes down, I start walking through the dark city, peering into bleak alleys, wandering through the bright neon, listening to the sounds of a city at night, the whisper of footsteps, the shattering roar of an L train, the sob of an ambulance siren. I wander up the boulevards, down the back streets, searching for something in the dark city. And what exactly is it that I seek? Brother, it's something more elusive than the farthest star. I seek the city's heart. Tonight I must have walked for miles. The cold wind off Lake Michigan, ad-libbing with my ribs, and the hot breath of my deadline biting into my neck. Then ahead of me I saw that friendly oasis in the darkness, Benny's all-night beanery, otherwise known as Tomaine Junction. Throwing caution to the winds, I started through the door for a cup of coffee.
Operator, answer me.
Nobody around but Benny polishing the counter.
Operator, I've
and
been
this little
disconnected
blonde
from the
yapping
call.
excitedly into the wall phone near the
47-4.
door.
Please hurry.
Such devotion, somebody should get that excited over me.
Hello, Mrs. Warren. Yes, we were disconnected. Has he come home yet, Mrs. Warren?
How are you, Benny? How's the bicarbonate king?
Oh, hiya, Randy. You always say that, but you
Well,
keep
told
coming
me.
back.
Glutton for punishment.
Well, you've got to find him. You've just got to.
Get her.
What's with her, Benny?
No, 25 calls she makes like that. 25 times she gets the same answer. 25 times she comes over to get more nickels.
Business is good, huh?
A hole in the head. What's in it for me making change all night?
Give me some change. Please, Nichols.
Lady, sooner or later, I gotta run out. This is it.
I gotta have some.
I don't make 'em here, lady. Now, will you
then
please...
any change. Quarters, dimes.
Let me take a look, see if I have any.
Oh, yes, please do. But hurry. Please hurry. I gotta reach him.
Randy, make with the catch. She's passing out.
Oh, easy, lady, easy.
Out cold.
Coffee, Benny, quick. There's one thing I'll say. If Gabriel's trumpet doesn't succeed in waking the dead, all they've got to do is send for some of Benny's coffee. After I got a couple of sips down the girl's throat, she started coming out of it. Tears rolling down her face, her whole body trembling with sobs. Oh, come on now. Now stop it, honey. Stop it.
What happened to me?
You passed out, but good.
What time is it?
Oh, it's 9:45.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
Oh, now take it easy. You're still shaky. Now, come on. Have a few more sips of this so-called coffee.
Oh, no.
Well, if you think Benny's coffee is bad, you ought to try his hamburgers.
I've just got to find him.
Who have you got to find?
The man.
What man?
The man I killed.
Ask a foolish question, you get a foolish answer. Only before I could ask any more questions, a little lady was on her way out of the place. I looked at Benny just to make sure he'd heard the same thing I had. He'd heard. His mouth was hanging open like somebody had taken out the hinges. I left the beanery and started after the girl. At first, I thought I'd lost her. Then I saw her sagging against the side of a building under the elevator tracks on Dearborn Street. She saw me coming.
Why did you call me? What do you want?
Oh, I'm just an old busybody.
I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy. I should call Mrs. Warren again. Maybe he came home.
Who?
That man.
The man you killed, huh? Well, that makes sense. Now listen,
Oh,
lady.
you don't understand. You just don't understand.
This you can be sure of.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
You've killed him, but you've got to find him. Yeah.
I must go. Please. Please let me go.
I'm not holding you, kid.
I don't know where to turn.
You don't want to go anyplace, do you? You want help? All right, here it is.
I don't know you.
My name is Stone. Now that we're formally introduced.
The newspaper columnist?
Well, man's got to eat.
Oh, maybe you can help. Maybe you can, Mr. Stone.
Yeah, but first I've got to know why you keep calling the home of the man you killed to see if he's gotten in yet. This is slightly confusing.
All right. I'll tell you. My name is Ruth Baker. I'm receptionist and secretary for Dr. Stanley Loring.
The specialist?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There was a man, Philip Warren. A week ago, he saw Dr. Loring for an examination. Today, this afternoon, he came back for the report. I was in the outer office when Mr. Warren left the consultation room. He looked strange. Strange and frightened.
Will you give me a cigarette, Miss Baker?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Warren. Here. There's a lighter on the table.
Never mind. I don't want a cigarette.
Is there anything wrong?
Hey, what time have you got?
3:15.
You're a minute slow.
All that?
But a minute is important. Very important.
If you're going to catch a train.
No, it's always important.
Well, yes, I suppose it is.
Oh, yes. You know, I've lived all my life that way. Paying attention to time. Being punctual. My wife considers it a nuisance. Do you?
Oh, I'm afraid I hadn't thought
You
of...
should. Everyone should. Time. Have you thought how many different ways one tells time? It can whisper in an hourglass, or tinkle in the tiny little clock, or it can roar, or...
Yes?
All my life it's been important to me. Now he won't tell me when. All he says is sometime. That's not fair, Miss Baker. It's not right.
Oh, look, Mr. Warren, perhaps you'd better lie down.
Oh, no. I've got several things to do. Many things, in fact.
I see.
You don't. But that doesn't matter at all. You know, in my office I can hear the chimes of the clock in the tower above me. I've always listened to them. I like them because time is important. But I never heard them chime midnight.
Midnight?
I guess midnight is a special time. It's either tomorrow or today. It's in between. Tells a man that the day is over. Another one's going to begin. It's like standing on the edge. Goodbye, Miss Baker. Goodbye, Miss Baker.
Yes, Doctor.
Miss Baker, will you come in, please?
Right away.
Warren gone, Miss Baker?
Yes, he just left, Dr. Loring.
Yeah, that was certainly unexpected. I was almost certain it wasn't that serious. Well, put his examination report back, will you?
Yes, sir.
The closed file, Miss Baker.
The closed?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
Any inoperable condition?
Oh, now I see.
See what, Miss Baker?
Why he acted so strangely.
Oh, don't worry. You'll go home, think about it. When the first shock wears off, you'll accept it. What else can he do? What else can anyone?
After that, I went back to my desk, Mr. Stone. I was checking my files and
Come on, Ruth. What?
I made a mistake. A horrible mistake.
What was it?
Well, when a patient comes in for examination, only Dr. Loring knows his name. The technical laboratory has only a number on a card. Mr. Warren's was 5129. I typed it wrong. I typed 5120.
The card number of another patient.
It was a mistake. I put Mr. Warren's name under the wrong laboratory number. The number of a man who is going to die.
certainly Dr. Loring will be able to tell if Warren...
Well, just a routine checkup would indicate symptoms. It took actual laboratory work to make certain.
Oh, I see.
He'll kill himself. He's that kind of a man. And if he does, I've killed him, murdered him. And if... I don't want to live. I'll kill myself, too.
Oh, now, come on. No, there's no time for that. Does Dr. Loring know?
I told him right away.
And he tried to reach Warren?
Oh, I've been trying since this afternoon.
At his home?
Everywhere. He must have gone home first because he left his wife a note.
Suicide note?
Yes.
Ruthie, come on, let's go.
Well, where?
To Warren's home. And if he's not there, well, Chicago's a big city. It'll be tough finding one man among 4 million people. But we can try.
I found the note when I got home, Mr. Stone. I knew Philip went to see Dr. Loring, but I didn't know...
Just the note and nothing else, Mrs. Warren?
No, nothing.
You called the police right away?
Well, of course I did.
And you haven't left this apartment?
Not for a second.
Well, didn't he phone, try to get in touch with you at all?
No, Miss Baker, he did not. And if my husband isn't found before he kills himself, I'll see to it that
I've been telling you it was a mistake. Anyone could make a mistake like that.
Mistake? To make a man believe he's going to die in horrible pain? No, that's no mistake. That's murder. The cruelest kind of murder.
Don't,
Please. Get out of here and leave me alone.
Wait
Get
a minute,
out.
wait a minute, Mrs. Warren. Why crucify this kid because she made a mistake that could happen only once in a million years?
To my husband.
To anyone.
Oh, leave me alone.
You want to find him, don't you?
Well, now, what kind of a question is that?
A nice, reasonable question. You want to find him. All right, help us.
But what can we do? By midnight, he'll be dead. The note he left said so.
Someone's at the door.
It might be him.
I'll get it.
Irma.
Mr. Warren?
Warren? Why, no.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul, what did you find out?
Oh, nothing. I checked every precinct station between here and the Oak Street beach.
Paul, this is Mr. Stone. And the girl who...
I see.
Paul is a friend of Philip's.
Yeah, there's nothing you said?
No one's seen him.
And no suicide report?
Not his.
It's 10 now. We've got 2 hours to find him.
You know, that bothers me. Why should he choose exactly 12 o'clock to die?
If you knew my husband, you'd understand why. The ticking of the clock was the most important thing in his life. You could set your watch by his schedule. Up at 7:30 in the morning. Never 7:28. Never 7:31, 7:30. Breakfast at 10 minutes to 8.
Irma, we haven't time to worry about Philip's idiosyncrasies right now. We've got to find him. As the young lady said, we've only got 2 hours.
I'm sorry.
Try to think the way he would. What does he do for those 2 hours? Where does he go? What does he want to see?
He's lived all his life doing things exactly the same way. That's all.
Well, that's something.
What are you getting at, Stone?
Well, I was just thinking. Nobody ever lets go of life without holding on to something else. Nobody knows whether you can take a memory with you or not. Maybe it's just a face, a melody, a favorite place. Nobody knows, but we like to think so.
Philip.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, that Philip would want to die exactly as he'd lived, knowing exactly when and where.
That's what I mean, Mrs. Warren.
What?
I want a list of every place your husband might go.
But
Tell him, Irma.
well, there are so many places.
100, 1,000. What's the difference? Write them down.
I'll go with you, Stone.
No, you stay here with Mrs. Warren. Somebody's got to be here if he shows up. And step on it with that list, Mrs. Warren. We've got a lot of places to cover by midnight. If we haven't found him, then we can cut our list down to one place. The county morgue.
Night Beat stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Find one man out of 4 million people. Find one place out of 1,000 square miles of city and do it in 2 hours, 120 minutes. A long chance? Compared to our job, a buck on the Irish sweepstakes was money in the bank. We had 2 things in our favor. One, Mrs. Warren had called the police. 1,000 cops had Warren's description. 2, Warren himself. The way he lived was a clue to the way he might die. On time, punctual. But where? The first place on this list was a little restaurant where he sometimes ate. They knew him there, all right.
Mr. Warren? Yes, I know him.
Has he been in here tonight?
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
I see you don't know Mr. Warren very well. Mr. Warren comes here on Tuesday evenings only. This is Monday.
Cross off one place. Go to the next. Yes, they knew Mr. Warren. No, he hasn't been in tonight. This is Monday. He comes here only on Fridays. Grab a cab and hurry on. Watching the minutes go by. Watching Ruthie die a minute at a time. Telling her no matter how bad we were doing, the cops would find him for sure. The cigar store, where he stopped for cigarettes, missed him by an hour. The Newsreel Theater, sure, an old customer, but he comes on Wednesday for the new weekly show. Ruthie wanting to call Mrs. Warren again to see if the police had found him yet, but no time. 40 minutes gone, an hour lost, going down the list.
Hey, Ben, late edition, get your paper.
Hey, kid!
Oh, paper, mister?
No, not right now. Listen to me. Every night a man stops by here. His name is Warren.
Oh, I know him. What about him?
Well, has he been here tonight?
Oh, sure. Hey, what gives with that guy?
What do you mean?
Well, any other night he's by here 6 o'clock sharp. Tonight he comes past after 10. Buys a paper, a late edition. Never done that before. In fact, I never seen him after 6.
Which way did he go? Did he say anything to you?
Nothing. All he does is buy the paper, walk away, and then he throws the paper away like he don't want it in the first place.
Which way did he go?
Straight up Michigan, that way. You got to admit it's unusual.
Yes, I admit it. I admit it. Thank you. Come on, cabby, move. So we went straight up Michigan Avenue that way. All we accomplished was to lose another 5 minutes of our time. And, brother, when it came to time, we were really scraping bottom. Those ever-loving cops were becoming more important by the second. One by one, we kept scratching names off the list. The cafeteria, where he sometimes stopped for coffee, but not tonight. The drugstore, where he stopped for stamps, but not tonight. Then the last place on the list, the very last. A little cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue. One of those shishi joints where the lights are so soft and low you can't watch the bartender watering the booze. Our 2 hours were just about all used up.
Can I help you, sir?
Oh, pal, if you can, nobody else can.
I beg your pardon?
I'm looking for a man named Philip Warren. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah, quite well. I consider Mr. Warren one of my special customers.
Was he here tonight?
Well, what do you ask?
We don't have time for anything but yes or no answers, please. Yes or no?
No, I really don't feel I'm at liberty to discuss with complete
Oh,
strangers.
Randy, it's not going to work. We're not going to find him.
Something wrong with Mr. Warren?
Well, to put it mildly, yes. Now, come on.
Well, if you'll tell me why you
Oh, no,
want
listen,
you
please.
See, it's not really proper to tell just anyone who happens to inquire.
Pal,
man.
unless we find him in the next 15 minutes, Warren is going to die.
You're joking.
Look at this girl here. If Warren dies, she'll... Never mind. Look at her face and tell me I'm joking.
Oh. All right. I didn't know. Mr. Warren's a good customer, you know. Two strangers asking.
Was he in here and how long ago?
Well, he came in a little while ago. I thought it was strange, you know, because he's late. It always comes in promptly at 5:35.
Never mind the details. How long ago?
About 10 minutes ago. He sat at the usual place, but then he didn't drink his sherry.
Do you know
just...
where he went?
No, I don't.
Did you see him go?
Oh, yeah, I saw him leave.
All right, now think. Has he ever said anything about going anywhere from here?
No. He was always very quiet. Oh, but I think his office is near here.
What makes you think that?
Well, he mentioned once he always leaves it at 5:30, and
I
he
see,
always...
thank you. Where's the phone?
Near the entrance.
Come on, Ruth. Thank you.
What is it, Mr. Stone? What did you think of?
You got his home phone number?
Oh, yeah. Written down
Good.
here.
Thank you.
Why are you calling there?
I want to know where his office is.
But why?
All his life, punctual, methodical. Everything to him was a habit. Maybe it's a crazy hunch, but I could be right. He could have gone to his office.
Yes, you could be right.
Come on. Answer.
They've got to be there. They said they'd stay.
They don't answer. Ruth, do you remember where his office is? Must be on your records.
Oh, I don't remember it. Oh, but we can go and get it.
Oh, there's no time.
Try it again.
They're not there. I told them to stay there, the fools.
What?
The phone directory. Might have a business listing for him. Warren. Paul. Philip Warren.
Is it?
No, only his home phone, the number I just called.
Mr. Stone.
What?
If Mrs. Warren isn't home, she might have gone to the police. Maybe they found him.
That could be it. Keep your fingers crossed that they found him alive.
Well, Randy Stone, snooping around this precinct for stories?
I've got one, Mac.
So?
Listen, I'm in a hurry. You've got to tell me something.
Why, sure, Randy. What?
There's a general call-out for a man named Philip Warren. Have you got anything on it?
I'll take a look. Warren? Philip Warren?
That's right. Oh, Mac, come on.
No, Nothing here on the name, Randy.
Nothing. Mac, you're crazy. The call went out this afternoon. Every precinct has got it.
Well, this is one of them, but there ain't a thing here. Take a look for yourself. Here's the sheet.
No, I'll take your word for it, Mac. Listen, put out a call right away. He's got to be picked up.
He killed somebody?
He'll kill himself. You hear that, Mac? He'll kill himself if he's not found before midnight.
Before midnight? But that's just 15 minutes.
Yes, I know.
What did they say?
They didn't have a call for him.
Well, that's crazy. They must have. Mrs. Warren, call the police.
Yeah.
Well,
Just a minute, Cabby. Look, Ruth. Let's figure it. That last cocktail lounge, the bartender said Warren came in every evening at 5:35, that he left his office at 5:30. That makes his office a 5-minute walk from the cocktail lounge.
And what he said to me, remember?
What?
He said he liked to sit in his office and listen to the chimes from the tower above his office.
Tower. 5 minutes from that cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue.
Look up the avenue.
The Wrigley Building. They're blocking the Campanile Tower. Ruth, that's got to be it. We've got 10 minutes to get there and find the office. Cabby, Wrigley Building, fast. The red on the traffic lights didn't mean a thing, but it still took us 3 minutes to get to the Wrigley Building. When we got there, the hands of the clock in the Campanile Tower pointed to 7 of 12. And as we looked up, the larger hand crossed out another minute of Warren's life. One more went by before the night watchman heard me pounding at the doors. And then he opened them.
Hey, what's all the fuss?
Look, my name is Stone. Chicago Star.
Yeah, will that give you the right to pound on doors?
No, please, just listen.
Huh?
Does a man named Philip Warren have an office in this building?
No, he ain't got no office.
Are you sure?
Sure, of course I'm sure. Man named Warren works here. But
Philip Warren?
Sure, works for Western Research.
Did he come in tonight?
Why?
Stop asking questions, please. We've got to find him or he'll be dead.
But he was all right when he walked in.
All right, take us up to him.
Hey, you've got to sign the in and out sheet just like everybody else.
All right. We'll sign it. Just take us up.
Yeah, okay. Got to use the freight elevator. The regular ones don't run at night. Not this one.
I don't care which one we use. Just get us up to Warren. I stopped looking at my watch while that freight elevator droned its deadly way up to the floor where Warren had his office. And then at last, we were there.
Western Research Office is right down that way. I'll just...
You'll call the police.
Huh?
Call the police. Tell them you're calling for me to get here as soon as they can.
Oh, sure, okay.
Thank you. Come on, Ruth.
There it is.
There's no light inside. It's open.
There's no one here.
Find the light switch.
I can't.
All right, never mind. I'll light a match. What's the matter?
I thought I saw someone at the desk when you lighted that match.
All right. Follow me.
Look.
Mrs. Warren.
What are you doing here?
Well, I thought of the same thing you did, and I...
Herman, you still here?
Yes, Paul. Mr. Stone is here, too.
Stone?
Yes. Turn on the light, Paul.
Why wasn't the light on in the first place?
Well, we thought if Philip came here and saw a light, he wouldn't come in.
That's right, Stone. We called the police. They had nothing yet, so we came here. We thought that
You called the police?
We just couldn't stay home and do nothing.
The police didn't tell you anything, huh?
No, everyone's looking for Philip.
I'll ask you nice, Paul. Where is he?
I don't understand.
Let's stop playing patty cake. Where is he?
I tell you, we don't know.
Sure you do. Well, you're one of his best friends. Where is he? Come on, give.
Well, we don't know where he is. We came here for the same reason
You
you
never
did.
called the police about your husband like you said. You didn't want them to find him.
You're insane, both of you.
Come on, Paul boy. Tell me where he is.
I tell you, I don't know.
Now, let's try it again. Come on.
Stone, you're a...
Never mind me. Let's stick to the subject of the moment. Where is he?
I told you.
Where is he? All very neat and clean, wasn't it? Let the old boy kill himself. Just don't do a thing about it.
Stop it, Stone, stop it.
You tell me when, Paul. How much insurance was he going to leave to your lady friend? You sure it isn't one of those non-cancelable policies, Paul? You know some of them don't pay off on suicide. Tell me where he is. Tell me.
Stop it. He's on the tower.
He's on the top of the building. I saw him. He's going to jump.
Here's your boyfriend, Mrs. Warren. Catch! The tower, Ruth. Come on.
The elevator.
No time. Tower's only 2 flights up. Come on, I'll need you. It was 1 minute of 12 when we took the first step of the 2 flights. The run-up was like one of those dreams in which you stand aside and watch yourself. There was a queer, impersonal detachment about it that made the horror even more real. And then we were out on the roof.
Do you see him?
No, not yet.
What the...
Where?
Look, on the tower.
Warren! Warren, wait! Warren! Yes, I'll wait. Guess it's not quite time. I've got to finish up today.
You've got to listen to me. You're not going to die. Do you hear me?
He said I was, but he wouldn't say when. He wouldn't tell me when. But I know, I can tell you. It's not quite 12, but what it is.
Warren, look here. Ruth, make him listen to you.
Mr. Warren! Look at me! You know who I am?
Yes, I know. I know everybody in the world. And I can see everybody from here.
Please! The report was a mistake. You're not going to die, do you hear? It was a mistake. Please, listen to me.
You're lying. You're all lying. Everybody lied to me all my life. You want me to suffer. I can't. I tell you I can't. And I know when I'm going to die.
But you're not. It was a mistake. My mistake, not the doctor's. I swear. We're not lying to you. I swear it.
Randy, why? Oh, mother in heaven.
Get your boys ready, Mac.
They're all set. But him? What about him?
Keep talking, Ruth. He's watching you. Keep talking.
Mr. Warren, you're all right. Do you hear? You're not going to die.
He said I was. He told me.
It was a mistake.
Please don't lie to me, please.
It's the truth, Mr. Warren. You're not going to die. Do you believe it?
Thank heaven. Thank heaven.
You can get him now, Mac. He'll hold on until your boys reach him. So here I sit, trying to write my story for tonight. But I keep hitting that one key. 0. 0, cipher, naught, nothing. Ah. Oh, dear. Someday, a nice, peaceful story is going to be written about a flock of happy little birds leisurely circling a burned-out world, wondering whatever happened to all those crazy two-legged characters who spent their lives knocking each other's brains out. What a nice thing to read that'd be. Yeah, but wait a second. Who'd write it? All right, you broken-down two-bit philosopher. The makeup editor's got to go home, too. So let's get going. Hello? Give me a rewrite.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. Others in tonight's cast were Peter Leeds, Gene Bates, Larry Dobkin, Joan Banks, Stacey Harris, Wilms Herbert, and Junius Matthews. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat. Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. But tonight's story began when one man tried to destroy another with the strangest weapon of all, darkness.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
When your job is to walk into the darkness and discover what makes a city tick, you pick up some mighty strange friends. The winos dreaming of a muscatel paradise in cold, dark doorways. The petty larceny boys with their fast deals. The painted little dames defying the world with their brassy laughter. The homeless, the hopeless. In the city, night is for the lost. And sometimes you feel a hunger to be with someone of the everyday world. Some nice, well-adjusted soul who's got a reason for waking up tomorrow morning. I guess that's why I dropped in to see Bessie Chatfield tonight. Bessie's a little gray-haired librarian who has charge of a small storefront library on Huron Street. No one around this time of night but Bessie and a young fellow in a gray raincoat alone at a reading table.
Mr. Stone. Well, we haven't seen you, in such a long time.
Well, since Forever Amber, you haven't had the kind of high-type literature that interests me.
And when you finally do drop in, look what time we get here. 10 o'clock. Right when I have to go over and start turning out the light.
I timed it that way so I could get you behind those bookcases, away from that fellow with the reading desk.
Well, I'm afraid your timing is about 35 years off, Mr. Stone. These light switches. Why do they always put them up so high?
Aren't you going to tell that fellow it's time to go home?
This is the way we tell them. We flick off the lights and then flick them on again. First off, like this.
No, don't do that. No!
What?
Turn the lights on quick. Let me handle it.
What's the idea of doing that, mister? That's supposed to be smart or something.
Oh, take it easy, fella. Take it easy.
Or did he pay you to do it? Is that the deal?
Huh?
You tell George Brewster that the game doesn't amuse me anymore. You tell him if he keeps that up, I'll kill him.
Oh, wait. I turned the lights out. It's closing time.
What? Closing time? Oh. Yes, of course.
What's wrong with you, buddy? You sick or something?
Sick, yes, that's me, sick. Only mine's a childhood disease. Childhood.
No, what in the world was that?
I don't know. Ever seen him before?
He's come in a couple of times this week. Spent all his time reading some reference books at the table. Seemed to be such a nice, polite young man. Considerate, kindly.
Let's take a look at those books.
Oh, my heavens, my heart is beating a mile a minute. And did you see his face? It frightened me.
He was even more scared than we were.
Of what?
These are books he was reading?
Yes.
The Mind in Limbo, Abnormal Psychology, Modern Psychiatry.
Why would he want books like this?
Maybe he was looking for somebody in these books.
Who?
Himself, Bessie? Probably himself. Bessie was pretty upset, so after she locked up for the night, I started walking her toward the elevated station over on Lake Street. We walked a couple of blocks through the dark, empty streets when suddenly Bessie grabbed my arm.
Mr. Stone, that man down the street, looking in that store window. That's him.
Oh, yes, same gray raincoat, same lad.
And look, Mr. Stone, what's that in his hand?
That's a piece of pipe or something.
He's breaking that store window.
Yeah, you wait right here, honey.
Be careful, Mr. Stone, be careful.
The fellow was reaching through the broken window glass for whatever it was that had struck his fancy. He heard me coming and turned toward me. The wan streetlight did something to his face. It seemed twisted and torn. Blood was running down his hand where the glass had cut it. Then I saw what he'd taken from the window. A gun. What's the idea, pal? He spun around and started running for the elevated station down the block. And in the best tradition of the Rover boys, I stayed right on his tail. He turned back to see how I was doing. He stumbled over a trash can in the curb. I caught up with him, grabbing his arm.
Go of me. Leave me alone. Let go of me.
He slashed the gun across my face and began running again. I stopped long enough to take a quick inventory of my teeth. Up above, I heard the elevator train coming into the station. The young fellow had reached the station steps and was going up fast, trying to make that train. I reached for one of his legs. He turned and gave it to me right in the stomach. I folded up, and I just sat there. I listened to the train pull away with the fellow on it, and remembered what Bessie had said about him being such a nice, polite young man. After a while, I began to feel somewhat human again. I notified the police what had happened, and they sent a squad car out. After they left, I remembered something, a name this nice, polite young man had been throwing around. George Brewster. I found a phone book in a cigar store. There were 3 George Brewsters. The first number didn't answer. I tried the second.
Hello?
I'd like to speak to George Brewster.
Well, he's not in right now. Is there any message?
Who is this?
I'm his sister. Is anything wrong?
Well, if this is the right George Brewster, something is wrong. Is there any reason why a young fellow should want to kill your brother?
Oh, that would be Morrison. Oh, I warned George.
Morrison, huh?
Tom Morrison.
Where does he live?
Our old apartment, 612 Hamlin Avenue. What makes you think he wants to kill George?
Well, this character broke into a store tonight and stole a gun. I sort of think he had your brother in mind when he did it.
Oh, no. What am I going to do?
Well, lady, I know what I'm going to do. As fast as I hang up and get another nickel into this phone, I'm going to call the police.
Oh, I feel so bad. It's not really Morrison's fault, poor man.
Oh, no. He's just a prince of a fellow. Goodbye, lady. I've got to make a call. But then it turned out that I didn't have a nickel. And on the way to the counter for change, I started wondering why the sister of the man he was going to kill felt sorry for Morrison. And why Bessie thought he was such a sweet character. And, well, the night was young, and 612 Hamlin Avenue couldn't wait, and I could call the cops later. 612 North Hamlin was a second-floor flat on the north side. I got there a few minutes after 11 that night. All the windows were lit up. I rang the bell, and I waited. I felt a little bead of sweat zigzagging down my face like it didn't have any place to go.
Yes?
It's you. No, let's not close the door just yet. In fact, let's push it open all the way.
What do you want?
My 2 front teeth and a few ribs.
Get out of here.
Now, look, pal, don't tempt me. I came against my better judgment to listen to what you've got to say. If I leave now, the only place I'm going is the nearest police station.
Police station. I guess maybe that would be the best.
What?
Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. I guess you better call the police, mister.
What do you think you're doing, calling my bluff?
The phone's right behind you.
Okay, buddy, you asked for it. Sure this is the way you want it?
It's better this way. I'm at the end of my rope. I don't want to kill him.
George Brewster?
Yes, George Brewster. I know how it'll end if he doesn't stop.
Stop what?
Call the police, mister. You'd be doing me a favor.
Since when have I got to do you favors?
Well, why aren't you calling?
I'm an Eagle Scout in good standing. I haven't done my good deed for today.
You can't help me, mister.
Stone is the name. What makes you so sure I can?
Well, thanks for even wanting to. After that bad time I gave you.
Bad time? That's the understatement of the year.
Well, I was panic-stricken. You got me half crazy.
Well, what have you got to lose if you tell me about it?
No.
Okay.
Wait. I don't know. I'm like a drowning man grasping at straws. Look, maybe if you talk to Brewster, told him what he's doing to me, maybe he'd leave me alone.
Well, you never can tell. But I'd have to know what I'm talking about.
It's quite a story, mister. These lights. Look at them. Bright as the sun, aren't they? Lamps. Overhead chandeliers. Look at them.
I'd hate to see your light bills.
Like some men need drugs. That's how I need these lights.
Come again?
My sanity depends on it. My very sanity.
On these lights?
It's a sickness. You've even got a name for it. Noctophobia, it's called. Fear of darkness.
Fear of darkness? That's for kids. No, I take that back. I'm sorry.
Don't be. I quite agree. Kids. Or neurotic women. But in a man of my age, it's quite ridiculous. When the day starts drawing to a close, when the night starts crowding in.
Have you been to a doctor?
Sure, I've been to doctors. They tell me I shouldn't feel too badly. Plenty of people with my trouble. A hangover from childhood. An illness. Like heart trouble is an illness. I'll take the heart trouble.
Maybe you haven't gone to the right kind of a doctor. Maybe psychiatry could help you.
Nothing's going to help me. George Brewster's going to see to that.
What about this, Brewster?
He's trying to destroy me. With the strangest weapon of all.
The strangest weapon of all?
Yes. His weapon is the night.
listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy. In a moment, we'll return to Night Beat and Randy Stone. But first, we'd like to call your attention to another great NBC mystery adventure program. Every Sunday, you'll want to hear the exciting new Christopher London series with screen actor Glenn Ford in the title role. Stories for Christopher London are furnished by Earl Stanley Gardner, one of the most famous mystery story writers in America. There is no doubt about the greatness of Gardner's stories, and with the superb acting of Glenn Ford, Christopher London should be must-listening for every mystery fan. Make a listening date now to hear the exciting adventures of Christopher London every Sunday over most of these same NBC stations. And now, back to Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone in Night Beat.
It was a weird feeling standing in Morrison's brilliantly lighted parlor listening to him tell me about his terror of darkness. A sturdy, healthy-looking man trapped by a childhood nightmare. I felt guilt listening to him like I was eavesdropping into a dark corner of his mind that was nobody's business but his own. And yet he had to tell me because he needed help. Because George Brewster was using Morrison's fear to destroy him.
I was sent to Chicago by our company to replace Brewster, Stone. Till he found out why I was here, he couldn't do enough for me. He even got me this apartment.
Greater love hath no man.
Then he found out what the setup was. He changed fast enough.
How did he find out about this fear of yours?
Well, I'm telling you how. The other night, the two of us were working alone in the big vault down at the office, working on some old account or other. The overhead light, it blew out.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was so sudden, I couldn't help myself. I tried to keep calm, but... Well, it's like something tearing me to pieces inside. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't... Finally, I had to run.
So he found out...
No, he wasn't sure, but started him thinking.
Yes, I see.
Next afternoon, he came over to my desk. He was jovial, friendly, like he'd been in the beginning. Saying we'd been at each other's throats long enough. Inviting me to have dinner with him that night. Right from work, we went to his favorite spot on the north side, a place called the Catacombs. I began feeling uneasy the moment I entered.
How do you like this place, Tom?
That's okay. It's fine.
It's been a favorite of mine for years. One spot in particular. The wine cellar. How do you feel about wine?
Oh, I like it all right.
Come along with me. I'm a wine man from way back.
Say, George, I wanted to talk to you about that little outburst last night.
They have a different wine cellar here with a different temperature for each type of wine.
I haven't been sleeping well, you see.
Me, I prefer Riesling myself. Well, here we are.
Huh?
At the white wine cellar. We'll select our own brand for our supper. Here, I'll open the door. Yeah, this is a privilege only an old customer like me can get away with. Come on.
Dark down there.
That's why they've got this candle here on the ledge. Got a match?
Why,
A match, Tom.
Yeah. Here.
Okay. I'll get this candle going. Good. Now, let's go downstairs.
George, you think we should do this on our own?
Done it hundreds of times. Been coming here for the last 10 years. Well, now let's go down these stairs then. Careful.
Yeah. George, I was explaining about last night.
The candle casts funny shadows, doesn't it? You notice how cool it is? 20 feet below street level here.
Look, I want to talk about last night. I don't want any misunderstanding.
Huh?
It's just that I've been working pretty hard.
Look, Tom. Will it make you feel better if you showed me you're not afraid of the dark? Okay, you can show me. I'll blow out the candle.
What are you trying to prove, Brewster?
Nothing at all. It's your idea.
Where are those matches I gave you?
You gave me some matches? Well, I must have lost them.
It's not going to work, Brewster. I'm not insane, you know. I can stay down here until you're quite satisfied.
Funny, isn't it, about the darkness? The way it seems to close in on you. The way you start thinking you can't breathe. I know, I can see how someone could... What's the matter, Tom?
This is ridiculous.
Something so suffocating about a dark room.
Stop it. Stop it!
Only the heavy, smothering blackness.
Stop it!
Where are you going, Tom? Anything wrong? Anything wrong? Anything wrong?
Ran out of that cellar like a kid scared to death, Stone.
That was a rotten thing for him to do.
Well, he's fighting for his job, Stone. He's not too young anymore. He can't start all over again, so they'll do anything.
Oh, great.
I'm sure he's told the people down at work. I'm sure they're all laughing at me behind my back. You don't know what that does to me.
I can imagine.
Today I found a new desk lamp on my desk, courtesy of George Brewster. Every day, something like that.
Did you ask him why he's doing it?
He won't admit he's doing anything. Says it's all my imagination. Maybe I ought to see a doctor. Or better still, maybe a change of climate would help. Well, I'd leave town in a minute. Only my future's at stake, too. Before I let him drive me crazy, I'll kill him.
Well, I'm going now. I'm going to talk to this bird. Where does he live?
Out in the suburbs, Lake Forest. He lives with his sister.
All right, I'll give you a ring as soon as I've seen him.
Mr. Stone, I hope you can do some good.
Yeah. Oh. Say, I almost forgot something.
What?
That gun you made off with.
Well,
Maybe if we're lucky, we can talk the store owner into pressing charges. I'll try it.
That was a crazy thing to do. I was so desperate.
Wouldn't have done you much good. When they put them in the window, they never loaded. I'll let you in on a secret. If I hadn't known that, I wouldn't have been such a hero coming here tonight.
I'll let you in on a secret, Mr. Stone. You can get bullets without a license. The gun's loaded now.
Oh, great. All right, go and get it for me.
All right. Yes, I want to give it to you. It's in my bedroom.
He started for the bedroom. And then it was almost like a comedy routine where after the big build-up, the punchline comes right out on cue. The moment he entered the other room, every light in the house suddenly went out.
What happened to the lights?
Take it easy. Where's the fuse box?
I don't know. Never had any occasion to use it. Besides, if it was a fuse, all the lights wouldn't go out. It wasn't you.
Use your head. How could I do it?
I'm getting out of here. All lights out, too.
Stone, well, maybe something went wrong with the central wire.
But why should it happen exactly now?
Wait, huh?
The downstairs apartment. Their lights are on. If it was the wire...
All right. Let's ask them where the fuse box is.
Yes? Oh, Mr. Morris.
My lights went out. It might be a fuse. Where are the fuse boxes for these apartments?
Out in the back. I'll get a flashlight and show you. Here we are. The fuse box is right here below our meters. Whenever the people from the light company come out, they have a dickens of a time finding it.
Will you hold the flashlight steady and let me take a look?
Wait a minute, Stone. Lower the flashlight just a little.
Huh?
It's not the fuse. Look at the master switch on my meter. Look at the one of Mrs. Graham's.
Why, somebody pulled your switch down to off.
Yes. Yes, someone surely did.
Well, here, let me push it up. There.
And look upstairs. All your lights are on again.
That's probably some kids playing a joke.
How do you suppose the rascals ever found it? It's so well hidden.
I've got a theory that all kids come equipped with a special radar for finding things like this.
Mrs. Graham, tell this gentleman who used to live in my apartment before I did.
Why?
Tell him.
Why, you know. He even got the apartment for you. Your friend, Mr. Brewster. But what is that?
Tom, that doesn't prove he did it.
For me, it does, Stone. For me, it does.
Morrison went around to the front of his house and up the stairs to his flat. I waited in the hallway until he came down again. He looked different. His face was hard and set. His eyes were like chunks of glass punched into the flesh.
What are you waiting for, Stone?
When we were so rudely interrupted, you were going for the gun.
I've got it now.
Ah, yes. Hand it over. I'll bring it back.
No, thanks.
Now, where are you going and what are you going to do?
I'm fighting for my sanity, my life. He's never going to do this to me again. Never.
I can't let you do that.
You're not going to have to.
The minute you leave, I'm going to call every cop in the book.
Yes, that's what you do, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'd better give you the gun. This
could become habit forming. I dropped to my knees in the hallway, and then the hallway subdivided like something under a microscope, and there were 2 hallways, and then there were 4. And then everywhere I looked, there were hallways. Morrison tried to push me aside and get by me, only it was a whole circle of Morrisons. I grabbed at his legs to hold him back, and it was like grabbing at a centipede. Then all the Morrisons in all the hallways brought all their guns down on my one poor head. And that was it, brothers and sisters, that was it.
Feeling better, Mr. Stone?
Oh, if I felt any better, I'd call an embalmer. Oh, what a business.
I heard a commotion, and I came out, and you were lying here.
Oh, is this my head or is it a cantaloupe?
Oh, how did it happen, and where's Mr. Morrison?
Oh, Morrison, yes. How long ago did you hear this commotion?
Oh, just a couple of minutes ago. You came out of it real fast.
Yeah, I've got an iron constitution. Have you got a phone?
Well, yes, but don't you think you
Come on, lady. Grab my head, put it back on nice and neat, and let's get to that phone. Hello, this is the fellow who called you before, Miss Brewster, about Morrison and your brother.
Oh, yes.
He's not there yet, huh?
No, my brother is...
I don't mean your brother, I mean Morrison.
What? No, is he...
Oh, yes, he sure is. Now, give me your address, and the minute you hang up, get away from the house as fast as you can. Morrison's got a gun, and he's half crazy.
Maybe we should call the police.
Well, maybe we should, but I'm not going to. They'd throw the book at him 10 years for attempted murder. I think I can stop him before he does anything.
Oh, I can't tell you how sorry I am about this.
Lady, you and your brother should be. The cab got me out to their Lake Forest house in less than 20 minutes. The house was on a hill, and a flagstone path wound round and round for a city block until it reached the front porch. As I ran up the walk, my head started rattling like a handful of pennies in a tin cup. I felt weak and tired. All the time I tried not to think about what I'd find when I reached the house. And now I was at the end of the path, walking toward the front porch. A nerve deep in my throat started jangling like a burglar alarm. The house was in darkness, and Morrison was standing beneath a little porch light, his gun pointed right at me.
You won't quit, will you, Stone?
What have you done with him, Tom?
He hasn't done anything with him yet, Mr. Stone.
Huh? Who is...
I'm sitting over here at the end of the porch. I'm George's sister.
Oh. I didn't see you in the dark. Why didn't you get away like I told you?
I won't hurt her. It's him. He'll be coming along soon.
George would never have done anything. I begged him not to. Take advantage of a man's weakness.
Well, Mr. Brewster is coming home.
What?
His car is stopping at the bottom of the hill. Now he's starting the long climb.
Morrison, listen to me.
You just sit there, the both of you. And I must insist that you be very quiet.
Please, listen to me. Please. Please.
Keep coming up that path, Brewster. It's a long, long way.
You must listen to me.
Morrison.
You don't know what to do.
Waiting near the porch light, the gun in
George
his
hurt
hand.
you. You shouldn't have done that.
Far below the small
What
figure
you're
of
doing
George
is
Brewster
so
making a long, slow
You
climb.
realize that you're going to kill George because he found out about your fear. But don't you see? George is afraid, too. Of bigger things. Of being 53 and seeing his whole life going down.
Brewster had stopped at the first landing to
That's
catch
why
his
he
breath.
hurt you.
Now he was climbing up the path again.
He was fighting.
Maybe 100 steps from his death. I found myself counting the steps.
Why are you afraid of the darkness? Don't you see? If you weren't afraid, George couldn't hurt you anymore. Please, listen to me.
Keep your voice down. If you try to warn him, you both die, too. Keep coming, Brewster.
Yes, he kept coming. No more than 70 steps now.
What is there to fear about the dark?
The girl's voice going on and on.
Nothing.
Brewster getting closer.
All it does is hide the world.
Less than 50 steps now. 40 steps. 30 steps.
If you believe in God, if you believe in your own soul, how can you fear the night? What is there in the darkness that can hurt you? There's such peace in the darkness. After the heat of day is gone, the rush, the tumult, the struggle, you can breathe easy again. You can let the tightness inside unwind.
She's almost closer.
Listen to me. Please listen.
It's not going to work, Miss Brewster. I'm going to try more.
Wait.
Miss Brewster. There we are, Miss Brewster.
No. You must see me in the light.
I tell you, stay with...
Tom. Look at her.
I didn't realize.
I'm not afraid. What right have you to fear?
Julie, is that you on the porch?
What right have you to fear, Mr. Morris?
What right?
Oh, what a long time. Must be getting old. Well, what are you doing here, Morrison? And who's this?
Oh, don't mind me. I just came along for the ride.
What's this all about?
I just came to say goodbye, Brewster.
You're leaving?
Yes. I'm going back and tell them you've done a good job here. It's not fair to replace you after so many years.
You sure nobody scared you away, Morrison?
Look at him, Brewster. Does he look like he's afraid? I don't know if Julie cured Morrison of his fear of darkness. Cure is a pretty strong word. But maybe she helped. I kind of think so. I do know this. It's going to be mighty hard for Tom to fear the darkness, knowing Julie is not afraid. But neither Tom nor I will ever forget what we saw as the porch light lit up her face. Julie Brewster, who did not fear the darkness, was blind. And now that part of the story they always print in heavy type, a moral. And don't smile so indulgently. Morals are very nice things. Some of my best friends have morals. You know, seriously, Julie's whole life is a moral in itself. And trying to top it is like trying to follow Al Jolson with a Mammy song. The best you can do is tip your hat to the fellow who wrote, "Out of the night that covers me, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul." He must have had someone like Julie in mind. Well, 4 o'clock in the morning, stale cup of coffee, a tired sandwich, and a story to dictate, and I worry about my unconquerable soul. Ah, me. Give me a rewrite.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Night Beat is written by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. You know, stories start out in many different ways. Tonight's story started when I walked into a nice little guy's private world and it blew up right in my face.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
When the streetcars and the subways spill out their thousands of tired ones who scurry off into a million directions to find home, that's when my job begins. I start walking, looking for my story so that you can read about it in your morning newspaper and feel good because it didn't happen to you. Tonight I got my story fast. Just walking down Madison Street, west, away from the center of things. I kept walking past the shooting gallery, the nickel arcade with the peep shows and the fortune-telling machines, the jukebox taverns. Madison Street, the quick route to happiness with the world's worst hangover. And then straight ahead of me was Pop Gordon's training gym. That's where the public pays 30 cents to watch fellas training to beat each other's brains out. You know, when I got inside, it looked like just one of those fights. And then I heard one voice over the others. It was a voice I knew.
Somebody call the cops and get that punchy loon out of here.
You yelling stupid bums, all of you laughed at me.
What's the matter, Pop?
At me, you
Randy.
laughed.
Yeah.
This crazy owl's gone clear off his rocker.
Oh, that's Billy.
Yeah. Somebody call the cops.
Wait a second, Pop. He's all right.
Sure. Listen to him.
Kill you. Anybody lays a glove on me gets killed. You laugh.
Only one place for a loon like that in a bughouse. I'm going to get the cops and have this owl tied up.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Pop. Let me talk to him.
Randy, stay away from that lot. 5 of us couldn't hold him.
He knows me.
Randy, the guy's gone nuts.
Yellow, like I said, everybody's scared of getting the same.
Hey, Billy. Billy.
What?
Hi, Billy. How's it going?
You coming in with me?
No, sure. Make me a big man getting into the same ring with a champ.
Well, that's me, champ. And you're a two-bit bum.
Well, that's a thumbnail description if I ever heard one.
Admit it. The truth. A two-bit bum. Admit it.
I admit it, Billy.
Yeah, but you don't mean it. You're laughing at me like the rest of them. You're laughing at me.
Billy, I never laughed at you in my life.
You're laughing. Well, I'll show you what happens to anybody who laughs at Billy the Kid.
As the world flew away in all directions, I dimly remembered how the sports writers used to speak so respectfully of Billy's fast left hand. But, brother, if they knew what I just found out about his right. When the fog finally cleared, Pop Gordon was bending over me, and there were a lot of other faces, too. But I didn't see Billy when I stood up.
You okay, Randy?
Oh. This is being okay. I don't want any part of it.
He slugged you, but good.
Where is he?
He took off before the cops come. Took off before anybody could grab him.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. I let that bum come in the gym and sit around. Everybody else pays 30 cents, but him, I let him free. What's he do, huh? What's he do? He busts loose, he blows his top.
But why? What happened to Billy?
Oh, I don't know. Tonight I catch him putting the bite on my customers. 2 bits here, a dime there.
Billy was panhandling?
Sure. Like I said, I didn't like it, so I tell him.
And then what?
I don't know. I'm over at the other side of the gym. I hear somebody laugh, and the next thing I know, the owl's swinging like a windmill. He's going to kill everybody just for being around. He ought to be tied up.
Uh-huh, just like that, huh?
Yeah, he ain't safe.
What do you want, the Black Mariah to come around, cart him away like a load of rubbish?
Yeah, but for his own good.
Oh, Pop.
Yeah.
Remember when he was champ? He packed him in every club where he fought. He had $1 or $5 for anybody who held out a hand.
So? What are you getting at?
Well, now he's got no one, Pop, and now he's out in the cold.
Yeah. Oh, I'll forget the cops. But we still got to put him away.
Well, all right, sure, but let's do it as painless as possible. I'll keep him with me tonight, and then tomorrow...
You going after him?
Yeah, which way'd he go?
Straight up the streets, but watch out, Randy. He blows his lid.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I don't want any rematch. I'd like to know why he blew his lid in the first place, and my jaw in the second place. I'd known Billy a long time. A sweet, gentle guy who always seemed to be living in a world all of his own. A world that nobody else knew about and cared less. And now he was in trouble. In his mood, he might hurt someone, or worse, he might get himself hurt. I must have walked for half an hour before I finally spotted him. He was standing on a corner. I stopped and watched him for a couple of minutes. I watched his hesitant and embarrassed panhandling. Then I walked over to him slowly. Hello, Billy.
What? Oh, hiya, Randy, old pal, hiya.
You want some company?
Oh, sure.
Good.
Randy, where you been keeping yourself? I ain't seen you for a couple of weeks.
You haven't seen me for a couple of weeks?
Well, I thought maybe you'd forget an old pal, huh?
No, you're not the kind of a fellow one forgets, champ. Mm-mm. Now, what was the trouble back at the gym?
Gym? What gym?
Pop Gordon's.
Pop's place?
Yeah.
Well, let's go. I gotta help Pop. He's a good Joe, you know. He never charges me nothing.
Wait a minute, hold
in.
on a second, Billy. Hold on.
Yeah?
Weren't you at the gym tonight?
Oh, no, not tonight. I've been here.
And you didn't, massage my chin?
You giving me a rib? Well, what you looking at me for like that, Randy?
Forget it, Billy.
You was just ribbing, huh?
Oh, sure, I'm just kidding.
I like ribs. Not giving a hot foot, nothing like that, but funny ribs that don't hurt nobody.
No, sure. Can I ask you a $64 question?
Well, sure not. You can ask me anything, Randy, anything.
I saw you a minute ago, Billy.
What?
I never seen you ask for a touch before.
I ain't never gonna do it no more, but Randy, I got it tonight. I gotta get a few bucks, maybe 15. I already got $2, maybe.
Why do you need $15?
What? I gotta get a new suit.
A new suit? What's so special about tonight, Billy?
What? There's something I gotta do. I just gotta do it, Randy. I gotta have 15, but hey, them cars.
Hey, is that you, Randy?
Yeah. Oh, Sullivan.
Yeah.
Randy, don't let him pick me up for panhandling, please.
No, I won't, Billy.
Please
Now,
don't.
you wait here. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Billy back there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Sullivan. Why?
Heard you had a little trouble with him back at the gym. Maybe we ought to put him in the tank for the night, keep him out of trouble, huh?
Look, Sullivan. He's going away tomorrow for a long time.
Oh, like that, huh?
Yeah, that's it. This is his last night out.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Good.
That's the way I do it myself. I'll see you around, Randy, but keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I'll watch him like a hawk. Thanks, Sullivan. So long.
Well, what they say, Randy, they ain't gonna pick me up for mooching, are they? They ain't going.
No, of course not. Look, Billy, how'd you like to come to my apartment for a while?
Oh, I can't. I told you I gotta get $15.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Well, I gotta get it tonight. Now I gotta get a new suit because.
Yeah, go on. Why?
I can't be wearing this crummy rag when I see her. Not when I see her.
I didn't know what he meant. But whatever had made him go crazy at the gym, whatever had made him hit me was tied in with her. Who she was, I didn't know, and I wasn't sure that he knew. I finally talked him into going to my place, and when we went in, I watched that slow, gentle smile come over his face.
Hey, this place is A number 1.
Yeah. Sit down, Billy.
I ain't got much time.
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, okay. I'm awful tired, Randy. Seems like a lot of things has happened tonight, you know. I'm kind of tired, sir.
Want a drink, Billy?
Oh, no. I never touch it, you know that.
Yeah. And you never panhandled before.
Well, I ain't gonna do that no more just tonight. I never bummed off of nobody. I paid my own way. Come anything, I paid my own way.
Yeah, that's why I want to know why you're putting the bite on people tonight.
I ain't gonna tell you. You'll laugh.
I won't laugh.
You will. Somebody else laughed when I told her. Somebody laughed, and well, when somebody laughs at me, I don't like it.
All right, easy, Billy. Easy. Come on. That's better.
I tell you, I gotta get $15. Hey, look at this.
What's that, Billy?
I cut it out of the paper today. I seen it. Hey, you take a look at it, huh? You read what it says.
Right. Mrs. Walter Compton and her husband.
Yeah? Yeah, go on. There's more.
Prominent society leaders of New York will be in town tonight. They're staying at the lake shore and...
I can't go there in this crummy rag.
Well, why do you have to see her?
What? Well, I gotta tell her something. It's getting late, Randy. I gotta get...
I'll lend you the $15, Billy.
You? Oh, no, I pay my own way.
Well, pay it back whenever you get a job.
No, I don't want any handouts.
It's just a loan, Billy. It's a loan.
What? Thanks, Randy. You're a champ.
Now, tell me why you got to see her.
You ain't gonna laugh? I can take anything but that, anything.
I won't laugh, Billy.
No, I guess you wouldn't. Okay. You remember once I was champ?
Oh, everybody knows you were champ. Now, what about her, Mrs. Compton?
Yeah. Well, it's one night after a fight, see? I ain't champ yet, but this one fight, she ain't there. So I go to see her at her place. She's there. And so when
Who's that?
It's me, Billy. Where are you?
Yeah, out in a minute.
Sure. Hey, I win tonight. I said I win tonight, Edna.
Yeah, I heard on the radio.
Well,
Well, what?
it don't mean a thing.
Sure. Means a lot, I guess.
You guess. A kid for $1 who's going to marry the next middleweight champ. You sure take things like a lump of ice.
Yeah.
Edna, anything wrong?
No.
Oh, there is.
Okay, something's wrong. Have it your way.
You wasn't at the fight tonight, baby. I looked for you. It took me 3-4 rounds to get going because I didn't see you.
You won.
Oh, kid, look at me.
Sure. The eye got torn open again, huh?
Oh, that's nothing. Collodion fixed it.
Collodion fixes everything, huh? Get cut up, use collodion. That's nice. That puts you all together again. How long do you think you'll stay together?
What's eating on you, honey? The last 2-3 weeks.
The last 2-3 weeks. The last 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's right.
I hate it.
You hate what?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, kid, what's wrong?
You and me.
I don't get it.
The only thing you do get is a measly few bucks for getting your head knocked off.
Oh, I'm a fighter,
So you're
honey.
a fighter. All right, fight. But count me out.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for him to carry you home.
Me? Me?
It can't happen, huh?
Well, all of a sudden you start blowing your top.
It's not all of a sudden. You said it. You said there was something wrong for the last 2-3 years.
Okay, spill it.
I'm through, Billy. Washed up. Finished.
What?
You and me. Done.
Since when?
Since right now.
Oh, baby, it's just the eye. You see me this way and you...
The eye.
Don't laugh at me, Edna. Don't laugh at me. I take anything but being laughed at.
It is a laugh.
Oh, now listen,
You listen.
honey.
I don't care if you get punched all over the state. I don't care if you get your brains rattled so hard. It's
Edna.
me I care about from now on.
Okay. So I'll be champ. So you'll get your fur coats.
Not from you. Not from a guy who's beginning to look like a punching bag instead of a man. Look at me. Take a good look.
I am. Yeah, I am.
I got looks. I got class. I can do all right.
I still don't get it.
All right, I'll lay it on the line for you. Want me to?
Go ahead.
I'm not going to tie myself to a punchy character. I'm not going to have to walk in nice places with a guy whose face is... Well, look at it. Go on, take a look in the mirror. You see what I mean?
You want me to quit?
I don't care if you do or not, because it's too late, Billy. It's too late.
Edna, you shouldn't say things. Please, Edna. That's the way it was, Randy. That's the way it was.
Yeah, I see. Look, Billy, you don't want to go and see her after that?
I tell you, Randy, I gotta see her. There's something I gotta tell her, and it's gotta be tonight because tomorrow she'll be gone.
Billy, how do you know that she'll... Well, that she'll see you?
Oh, I know, because there's something I ain't told you. There's something I ain't never gonna tell nobody. And, Randy, please, don't try to stop me. Please don't let nobody try to stop me because if they do, I'll kill them.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Billy said he'd kill anybody who tried to stop him from seeing Mrs. Walter Compton. I looked at his scarred face and into his eyes. A wild fever you see in the eyes of a dog everyone says is mad, but only wants a drink of water. And then...
I guess I shouldn't have said that, Randy.
Well, let's forget it for a minute, Billy. Now, tell me, why do you want to see her?
You don't understand dames, huh?
No, my mother never told me.
Well, she gives me the brush, see, like I tell you. She gives me the brush, but she does it for me, see? She don't want me to get my brains knocked out, see?
Yeah, I'm beginning to see, Billy.
Sure. But me, I got no sense, so I don't see it her way. So I let her walk out, and I don't see her no more. Not until I get hold of that paper today.
And tonight you want to see her. To say what, Billy?
Well, but don't you see? She loves me. All these years, she never lets up. And I want to tell her it's okay, that maybe her and me, we can start all over, like, see? What's the matter, Randy?
Nothing, Billy. Look, don't let anybody kid you, pal. You're still champion.
Oh, I ain't nothing. But, I gotta go now. I gotta get $15 for a
Now, look, you're tired. You need a shave. Maybe take a shower. You thought of that?
No.
All right, now you wait here and take a shower and a shave, and I'll bring a suit back for you. Is that a deal?
Oh, gee, you're a champ, Randy. You're a real champ.
I might be gone for a little while, Billy, but when I come back, everything will be okay. Sure. Okay. There was only one thing for me to do, go and see Mrs. Walter Compton. I made sure that Billy couldn't leave my apartment. I locked the door from the outside. I didn't want him picked up before he had the chance to see her. To see the woman around whom he'd built a whole world of fantasy in which he lived for so many years. I didn't want that world to come down around his ears. My newspaper pass got me in to see Mrs. Walter Compton in her suite at the lakeshore.
You're Mr. Stone.
Yes, I am, Mrs. Compton.
You're from the newspaper.
Well, I'm not on newspaper business, Mrs. Compton, not tonight. This is more personal.
Really? Well, what can I,
Do for me? Nothing.
Then please get to the point, Mr. Stone. My husband will be here shortly with guests.
How soon?
An hour. Why?
Well, because it concerns someone you used to know.
Really? Who?
Billy Candell.
Billy Candell?
Yes, he was better known as Billy the Kid, once middleweight champion of the world.
Oh, I'd forgotten. And I was glad to.
Mrs. Compton, he's coming here tonight to see you.
What? He's coming? How stupid can you get?
Well, for a lot of people, it's not hard to be stupid or heartless.
Yours must be a rather sentimental column, Mr. Stone.
Yes, it's about people.
You'd better go.
Look, please see, Billy, what can you lose?
It's out of the question.
Listen, all he wants is to tell you something. He wants to tell you that he knows that you still love him.
What? Oh, no.
Oh, now listen to me, please. Now, tomorrow he's going to... Well, he's going where he can rest. He's sick, Mrs. Compton. He's desperately sick.
Let's not be so polite. The word is punch-drunk, I believe. You want me to see a lunatic?
No, he's not. And I'll be here when he comes. We'll keep it between us three.
Do you know what you're asking?
Yes, I'm asking you to give a guy a few minutes of his world. Make it real for him. Tell him anything. Tell him you still love him. Then he'll go away. After tomorrow, you'll never see him or hear from him again.
You're asking me to receive that thing and to bring him into this hotel where everyone can see him? Do you know what that means?
Well, to him, yes.
I'm talking about myself. Myself, Mr. Stone.
Yes, I'd like to get off that subject for a moment.
It's the only subject that matters.
If you don't see him, he'll crack up all the way.
That happened long ago. Good evening, Mr. Stone.
3 minutes of your time.
I said no. Did you hear, Mr. Stone? I said no.
Okay, lady, I'm going. Thank you for everything. It's been lovely.
You needn't be sarcastic, Mr. Stone.
Oh, needn't I be? Look, Queenie, I got a little spot announcement for you. Billy owes you a vote of thanks. He'll never know it, but you gave him the biggest break of his life when you walked out on him years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, positively. Tonight you're giving him even a bigger break.
Tell me about it, Mr. Stone.
Yes, I'll tell you. The only thing that poor guy's got left is his memory of a girl named Edna. Any resemblance between that memory and you was strictly coincidental. Goodbye. I was glad to get out into the fresh air. All the way back to my apartment, I kept thinking of what I'd tell Billy, how I'd tell him. Then as I walked across the lobby toward the elevator...
Mr. Stone, Mr. Stone!
Oh, what is it, Charlie?
Here's a message for you.
Okay.
Here you are, Mr. Stone.
Thank you. How long ago he leave this?
Oh, what, just a few minutes after you left. Did you know you left him locked in? He called down. He asked me to open the door.
Yeah, did he say where he was going?
No. Just that he couldn't wait for you any longer.
Oh, that is on the note. How'd he look?
How'd he look?
Well, I mean, anything unusual about him?
No, he had on one of your suits, I remember now. That pinstripe one. He must have stolen it.
No,
right
he
out of
didn't
your-
steal anything. Now, listen to me. I'm going to the Lakeshore Hotel. If he comes back here, get in touch with me there. Mrs. Compton's suite.
Mrs. Compton's suite, yes.
Oh, and listen, I think you'd better call the police. But as for Kalski, remember that Kalski?
Kalski.
Tell him to meet me at the Lakeshore Hotel and quick. I took a cab, and I took the shortest way to the Lakeshore. I watched the pavements looking for Billy, but I didn't see him. He had some money on him, and he must have taken a cab himself. And then I was back at the Lakeshore talking with the clerk at the desk there.
Yes, sir. There was a man here of that description. He asked that a call be put through to Mrs. Compton's suite.
And was it?
Well, sir, he was a rather... Well,
yes, I know. So he didn't get through.
Oh, I called Mrs. Compton's suite myself and told her. That is, I described the man.
Yes, go ahead. What'd she say?
That on no account was I to put him through or send him upstairs.
Oh, well. Okay, that's something. What did he do then?
He left immediately.
Which way?
Well, I'm afraid I didn't notice, sir. I was registering some new guests, and I paid no attention.
Okay, thank you very much. I had to find Billy before... Well, before what? What would he do? Where would he go? I asked myself those questions as I walked slowly along, watching for him, hoping to see that pathetic figure in my pinstripe suit, hoping I'd get to him before someone else stopped him. I was afraid of what might happen or could happen. And then I saw him, just past the Lakeshore Hotel, shambling slowly along, his shoulders hunched against the wind that cut in off the lake. I ran and caught up with him. Billy! Billy!
What? Oh, hi, Randy.
Hi.
What you doing over here?
Oh, I just, looking around. Why'd you leave my apartment?
What? Oh, well, you was gone so long, and I had to get going, see.
Oh, sure. Come on, let's walk.
Yeah. Hey, I borrowed one of your suits. It's a real champ suit, all right. You mind, huh?
No, Billy, none at all. Did you see her?
Oh, sure.
What? You did?
Yeah, I see her.
Billy, they wouldn't let you go up, remember?
Oh, yeah, but I went up the back.
The back, Billy. Now look at me. Are you sure?
Oh, sure. And she still loves me, Randy. I said everything was okay. She's crazy about me like she always was.
What did she tell you?
Well, she didn't want to talk to me. You know how she is. But then I told her I love her, and she loves me.
Yeah? Billy?
I'm tired, Randy. Lots of things happened tonight. Lots of things.
Yeah, I know. What do you say we go someplace for coffee?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'm awful tired. And when I get real rested good, I'll go back to see her. Her and me, we'll start over again. Hey, this is where she lives, you know.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta see her once more, Randy. Maybe she'll talk to me this time. Huh?
Not tonight anymore, Billy.
But I want her to talk to me.
Well, why don't you?
Yeah, she will. She loves me.
Billy, now listen to me. You let me go up there first. I'll talk to her and fix everything, okay?
Well, tell her not to act like a kid. Tell her to talk to me.
Yes, sure. I'll tell her, but you must put...
Hey, Stone?
Yes, Kolsky?
You put in a call for us?
I did. It's okay now. I found him.
What'd she call the cops for, Randy?
Oh, Kolsky's not a cop. He's a pal of yours.
Huh?
He thinks you're the greatest fighter that ever lived. He always wanted to talk to you about your big fight.
Oh, sure. But we're busy now. I'll talk to you about it later, Kolsky. I gotta see somebody.
Billy, I promised you I'd see her, remember?
You're gonna tell her I'll be waiting?
Sure. Now, you just stay with Kolsky here. Tell him about the night you won the belt.
Anything the matter, Stone?
No. Just keep him here. I'll answer questions later. Now, Billy...
Yeah?
Promise me you'll stay right here.
You won't stay long, huh? Just tell her she loves me and I want her to talk to me.
Sure, I will. Okay, now you wait here. I didn't think it would do any good to see her again, but I wanted to give Billy a good memory to take along. I saw her all right, but she didn't talk to me either. I went back downstairs and out to the street. I hadn't been gone more than 5 minutes, but they were the longest 5 minutes of my life. Brother, I was beat.
Hey, Rhonda, you see her, huh? You see her?
Yeah, I saw her, Billy.
What did she say, huh? You tell me what she said, huh?
Well, I told her.
Hey, Stone, how long does this go on? This is a prowl car, not a bus.
Yeah, we're coming along with you.
What's the idea?
Get in the back, Billy.
Yeah. I'm kind of tired. I'd kind of like to ride to your place, Randy.
Sure. Take us to the precinct, Coulson.
Listen, Randy, did you see his girl?
Yes, I saw her, but she didn't talk to me either. I guess she laughed once too often. She's dead.
Huh?
All right, now just take it easy, Skalski. The poor guy doesn't even know that he killed her. 4 a.m. and the lights are going out all over the city. Even those neon signs on Madison Street. I've got to write my piece and put it in the slot, but what can I say? The story of a one-sided love? Well, if that's what love does to you, I'll stick to pinochle. It's a funny thing about love, isn't it? Let someone get up and talk about hate, and he's hailed as a new leader. Let him speak of love, and he's ridiculed, he's spat upon, and even nailed to a cross. Love is the greatest thing, the oldest yet the latest thing. Yeah. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. The part of the prize fighter was played by Bill Conrad. Others in tonight's cast were Lorene Tuttle, Bill Lally, Larry Dobkin, and Leo Cleary. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one started, strangely enough, with the flame of a match, whose feeble glow lit up a lightened face in the darkness. A frightened face, twisted by an agonizing fear of death.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
The night is a thief, some poet once wrote, that steals the colors from the day. It's kind of pretty if you like words, but for my dough, they're not exactly true. Because there are colors at night. The burning red of passion, the angry green of jealousy, and the ugly, terrifying black of fear. This was one of those nights when pickings were slim. I'd cover the town from Henry's bar in the Mart, out to Hyler's on the North Shore, and back downtown again with nothing to show for it. I was taking a shortcut through Lincoln Park to pick up my car. At that time of night, the park was pretty deserted, except for this girl walking up ahead of me. Not a bad silhouette, I might add, against the distant light. We were about halfway through the park when suddenly she stopped and threw herself onto a bench at the side of the path. There was something almost desperate about the way she did it. I ran up to her. Excuse me, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Well, I thought maybe you were sick or something.
I told you I'm all right. Now, will you please let me alone?
Oh, now look, lady, it's not what you think. Well, this park at this time of night, it's no place for a girl to sit around by herself.
I don't need any help. Just go away.
Oh, sure, I'll get lost. I can see you're all right. Only you don't mind if I just sit here and smoke a cigarette before I go.
It's a public park. I don't care what you do.
Thank you. You care for a cigarette?
No.
Of course, in order to really enjoy a smoke, you've got to have a match first. I said in order to enjoy a smoke, you've got
I
to...
heard you. Here.
Thank you. Here.
Keep the book.
No, you better hang on to these.
I won't need them.
Well, you might need them later tonight.
After tonight, I won't need anything.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That's no way to talk. The only time you're not going to need anything, sister, is after you're dead.
Why did you say that?
What?
That about being dead.
For no reason. Why?
Because after tonight, I will be.
The girl jumped up and started running. Here was a kid that was afraid. Afraid of death or afraid of life. But then, isn't everybody? I turned the matchbook over and looked at the ad on the cover. Penguin Club. A little all-night jump and jive place over on Clark Street. That's one I've been missing lately. On a hunch, I ambled up North Avenue in that general direction, turned up Clark a ways, and there it was. It was good to get inside out of that wind.
Check your hat and coat, mister?
No, thanks. I'm just looking around.
Can I get you a table? It's almost the end of the floor show.
Now, anywhere in the back will be all right.
Okay.
The hat check girl, hostess or whatever she was, walked me through the bar to the edge of the main room. And then I stopped and really did a take. Out in the middle of the dance floor, under a little baby spot, singing in front of a 5-piece band, was Little Miss Desperate from the park.
Nice voice, don't you think?
Yeah. Who is she?
Oh, that's Franny. Fran Fowler. Haven't you been in here before?
Not for quite a few months.
Of course, she hadn't got much experience yet.
From out of town,
Someplace over in Wisconsin. Not bad looking, huh?
In everything.
Hey, what's wrong with her?
Gee, I don't know.
I can't.
Well, how do you like that?
Come on, folks. Come on. Let's give the little girl a great big hand. Nothing like a real sad song to light up a real sad act, especially for a real sad tomato type tomato. No. It's all in fun. So let's dance now. Come on, you lucky guys and girls. Get over here. Move around.
I figure you got some alive one, huh?
Hello, Tommy. This is Tommy Mason. Ain't he the one?
Yes, he's quite the one, all right.
Gee, Tommy, you sure covered up for Franny, all right.
Never let down. Keep going all the time. That's show business. You know how it is, mister.
Oh, yes, I've heard. The show must go on. It's a new thing.
You gotta keep him laughing.
Honest, mister, he's this way all the time. What a joker.
Now, look, about that girl.
Franny?
Yeah, Franny. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, that's hard to say, pal. Maybe she just found out she ain't no Dinah Shore. Ain't she sure ain't?
Tommy, you killed me.
Seriously, fella, why would a girl break out that way in the middle of her number and start to cry?
Could be she got a cinder in her eye. But just to make sure, I'll go ask her.
See you later, Tommy. Come on, fella. How's about buying a girl a drink?
Oh, sure, in a minute. About this Franny.
Look, do we have to talk about her? I thought you came in here for some fun.
Maybe I get my fun wondering about people. What time's the next floor show?
Next one's at 2, then 4.
Oh, they're not kidding about this all-night business.
And still another one at daylight.
She's singing all of them?
How should I know? She missed most of the 12 o'clock show. Just got here for that last number.
Any idea where she lives?
The rooming house around on Erie Street.
No, the number?
391. You know you ask an awful lot of questions.
Well, that's my business. I'm a reporter, Randy Stone.
I might have known it. Look, you're not going to bother her tonight, are you? Of all nights?
Tonight?
This is the night that Charlie Dana's being executed down at Joliet.
What's that got to do with her?
Well, how would you feel? Look, Mr. Stone, she's human. This is the night her boyfriend's going to die.
I went up to the front of the bar to a phone booth and called the paper. There was something about this in the back of my mind somewhere, something I ought to remember but couldn't. I had the girl on the board put me through to Gabby in the library.
Library?
Oh, hello, Gabby. This is Randy.
Yeah, Randy?
What have you got on the Charlie Dana case?
Still a little early, Randy. Execution's not set until 1:30.
No, I mean old stuff.
Oh, I got the file right here, Randy. Dug it out earlier for background.
Good. Anything on a girl named Fran Fowler?
Yeah, let's see. Charlie Dana, small-time gambler, killed a guy named Tonelli.
Oh, yes. I remember that. A gambling beef.
Execution originally set for November, but he got a couple of months' stay. Oh, here she is, Fran Fowler. Singer in a nightclub. Was supposed to be his alibi, but the DA blew her up on the witness stand. She admitted she wasn't positive about when she'd been out with the guy.
Oh, yeah, that was it. I knew it was something. Anything more?
Oh, details, Randy, details.
Okay, Gabby, thanks. I'll catch up with you. Oh, Mason. Excuse me, were you waiting to use the phone?
No, I was waiting to talk to you.
Why, certainly, but this time, no jokes, if you don't mind. I'm expecting a headache.
You're not funny, Stone. Who are you talking to?
Well, isn't that kind of my business?
Peggy says you're a reporter.
Yes, of a sort.
You were asking about Fran, where she lived?
That's right.
You got to let her alone, see? You printed enough about her.
Just a minute, Mason. Those are my lapels that you're hanging on to.
Peggy shouldn't have given you Fran's address. I don't want you bothering her.
I said let go of my lapels, funny man, or something's liable to explode in your face. Now, you stay out of my way or I'll ruffle that shiny hair.
Where you going?
See about a cinder in a lady's eye.
You're not going to see her. I won't let you. Can't you see this whole thing's driving her crazy?
Tommy, believe me, I'm not interested in harming her or anyone. I'm just a guy trying to do a job. Now, if you'll step out of my way...
You're not going there. I won't let you. I won't let
Tommy,
you.
Tommy, you asked for it. My, that's a real nervous fella. Now that he'd made such an issue out of it, going around to see Fran Fowler was a definite must on my schedule. I picked up my car and drove over to Erie Street. 391 wasn't much different from any of the rest of the rooming houses on the block. I got the number of her room from the mailbox and started down the dingy corridor to room 8. I knocked at the door, but there was no answer. I knocked again, and then I smelled gas. Hey, anyone in there? Miss Fowler! Fran! I put my shoulder to the door, and the flimsy lock snapped open. I rushed into the gas-filled room, holding my breath until I could smash open the window and let in some air. And then I saw Fran Fowler, the girl from the park, lying across the bed. And on the table beside her, one of those 2-burner gas stoves with both jets wide open. I turned them off and started shaking the girl. Miss Fowler, Franny, come on, get up. You got to get out of here. Look, am I going to have to carry you?
Put me down.
You little fool, this room is filled with gas.
Not my purse.
Where?
On the table.
Okay, I've got it.
Oh.
Fine thing with a gun in it.
Give that to me.
Outside, baby, outside. It was 6 seconds flat when we hit the sidewalk in the fresh air. I put Fran in the front seat of my car and then ran around and climbed in behind the wheel. I headed out to Sheridan Road along the lake. The cool, clean air felt good in my lungs, and I could see Fran drinking it in, realizing now how close she'd been. I didn't make her talk until we were a long way out of town. Then I pulled over to the beach side of the road and killed my motor. We, seem to keep bumping into each other in the strangest places tonight.
I guess I should say thanks.
No, not at all. I'm the one who should say thanks. I still haven't returned your matches.
Please don't make fun of me.
No, I'm not. You see, I know now who you are.
Charlie Dana's girl. Why don't you say it?
In my book, you're just a kid I met in the park.
What time is it?
It's 1:45.
Then...
Yes, it's probably all over by now. Like me to turn on the radio?
No. No, I don't want to hear about it.
You must love him an awful lot.
Love him? I despise him.
But still you were willing to alibi for him on a murder charge?
I wasn't. I told him I wasn't sure of the time I was out with him, but he made me say it was the exact hour when the man was killed.
Didn't you realize you might have been perjuring yourself?
I didn't lie. I just didn't remember. It might have been like he said. When you're not sure, what else can you do?
Yeah. How'd you happen to get mixed up with him?
I didn't know anybody when I first came here. I was lonesome.
And he was nice to you.
He was. A lot more decent than most of the men who want to take you out when you're working in a club.
And why do you hate him now?
I didn't know what he did. A lot of people gamble. I didn't think too much about it. Then we got to going out evenings between shows at the club on my nights off.
And the killing happened when you and he were supposed to have been out someplace together?
That's what he said. He wasn't arrested until a few weeks after the trouble.
I couldn't remember if I'd been with him during that particular time or not.
Well, it's all over now. You did what you had to. That's about all any of us can do. But you gotta forget about it. Put it out of your mind. There's nothing more to worry about.
Oh, that's just it. You don't understand. There is.
What are you talking about?
He promised. He promised, and I know he'll keep his promise.
Promised what?
I want to see him in prison.
In the death house?
I had to. I wanted him to understand, but he said I tricked him.
What, by telling the truth on the witness stand?
He said I double-crossed him. But now he didn't care.
Why would he say that?
He said he didn't care because the night he died, I would die. And I'm afraid.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
This was real. This was no act. The sound she made would tear you to pieces, like some pitifully frightened animal who'd lost everything in the world. I let her cry it out. After all those months of strain, she'd have to get it out of her system.
He said the night he died, I'd die.
Sure. So you were scared. Who wouldn't be? But don't you see, that's just a cruel boast made by a cheap hoodlum who's trying to hurt you, make you feel responsible for his own plight.
But he meant it. I know he did.
Well, maybe he did at the time, but you got nothing to worry about now. You had nothing to do with it. He paid for his own crime. Now he's dead, and you're still alive.
He'll keep his promise.
How can he? He's dead.
I know you think I'm crazy.
No. But has anyone really tried to harm you?
Oh, but this wasn't the night he was supposed to.
Yes, I know. The execution was originally set for November.
It was that night in November. I hadn't been afraid before. I thought it was like you said, because he was bitter. But all that day I was upset. I told him at the club I couldn't work, and late in the afternoon I got a note from Peggy saying why didn't I go out to her cabin at the dunes for a couple of days. Nobody would bother me, no reporters, and I could get a good rest. So I drove out there that evening. It was quiet. Nothing around. Just empty sand dunes and her cabin all alone on the edge of the lake. I called Peggy at the club to let her know I got in all right.
Hello, Fran. Where are you calling from?
Why, from your place.
My apartment?
No, your cabin.
At the dunes?
It was swell of you, Peggy, to let me come out here.
Well, of course, Franny. You're welcome to use the place, but I don't quite know what you mean.
Well, your note this afternoon telling me to come out here.
I didn't write you any notes.
Oh, come on, Peggy. You did. You even told me where the key would be, under the flower pot.
But, kid, that's where we always keep it. Everybody knows that.
Peggy, I...
Now, don't worry about it, kid. One of the girls probably sent you the note and just hasn't had a chance to tell me about it yet. I should have thought of it myself in the first place.
No, wait, Peggy. I'm scared.
Well, what in the world of?
You remember what I told you about what Charlie said the last time I saw him?
Grizzly?
It was about tonight that he said when he died...
Cut it, Franny. Now cut it before you drag yourself
Peggy,
back.
I'm all alone and I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
Franny, you gotta hang up right away. You shouldn't be out there all alone tonight. Get in your car and come back to town as fast as you can. I'll wait for you here.
All right, Peggy. All right. I hung up the phone and ran out of the house to my car. I turned on the ignition key and stepped on the starter. It wouldn't start. My car wouldn't start. I looked at the gas gauge. Empty. Somebody had drained the gas out of my car. I got out in a panic and started toward the highway. But there was a car out there, parked behind a big sand dune. I turned and ran back to the house. It was like some crazy, frightening nightmare. I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I managed to get inside and lock the door. And then suddenly I was at the telephone. Operator, answer me. Operator, you've got to answer. I want the police. Operator, please help me. Someone. Operator! It was no use. The line was dead. While I was outside, someone had pulled the wires away from the wall. Crawled over to the window. looked out to the highway. There was a car out there. Its lights were on. But as I looked, they went out. And now, I was alone. In the dark. With him out there. I must have passed out. When I came to, it was morning, and Peggy was there. She and Tommy had driven out after the club closed to find me.
But you see, you didn't die that night.
But neither did he.
Could have been your imagination, this man in the car.
No. The news about this day of execution was on the radio. The man in the car must have heard it and gone away.
Did you call the police?
They didn't believe me. Just because I'm a nightclub singer, they said I was trying to get publicity.
How about the car not starting and the telephone being dead?
According to them, my car was just out of gas, and I must have pulled the telephone wires off the wall myself.
In the panic you were in, you could have.
But I didn't. I tell you, I didn't.
All right. Anyway, it's tonight that we're concerned with.
I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do.
Well, if it's true, this fear you have, you've got to find it out tonight. If you don't, it'll haunt you the rest of your life.
Oh, I know, but how?
You've got to go back to your room.
Oh, no, I'm afraid.
I'll be with you. Still got your gun, remember? By the way, what were you going to do with that?
I didn't have the nerve to use it. Even on myself.
Well, if anything is going to happen, it'll happen tonight. Not tomorrow or any time after that, but tonight. We'll go back to your place now and wait. Until it's daylight. I drove Fran back to the rooming house on Erie Street. There were no lights on anywhere in the building. We tiptoed down the empty corridor to Fran's room, listened at the door a minute, and went in. The door closed all right, but it wouldn't lock. I must have sprung it when I forced the door. We settled down and waited. For what? Once I thought I heard steps on the sidewalk far out front. It was that still. And then I did hear steps, slowly coming down the hall.
There's someone in the hall.
Keep it down.
He stopped outside the door.
Don't move.
Who's knocking at my door? Who's knocking at my door? Who's knocking at my
Okay. Go ahead, kid. Go ahead. You got it coming.
I'm sorry. I'm all right now.
Nothing to be sorry about. I was kind of scared myself. It's a funny thing about fear. It's catching. Look out the window.
It's almost light.
And this all night has gone for good. You see? It was all in your mind. Things you were frightened of. It was nothing, really. You won't be afraid if I go now.
No. I've caused you an awful lot of trouble.
Oh, now, you cut the howdy. You'll get me going.
And the kids at the club, I guess I should go back there and let them know I'm all right.
What the doctor ordered for you was a little shut-eye. I'll stop by on my way and give them a word.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, there's your gun. You might want to pawn it for a couple of pair of nylons. Yes, a real nice tomato-type tomato, as the funny man at the club would say. On the way over, I got thinking about him and that girl, Peggy. Come to think of it, that was one point Fran had forgotten to clear up for me about the note that sent her out to Peggy's cabin at the dunes that night. Yeah, my mind wouldn't let go of that. When I got to the club, it was daylight, and they were folding up the joint, and Peggy was sitting alone at the bar.
Well, you got a nerve coming back here after...
How's your boyfriend?
He's not my boyfriend.
It's a figure of speech. Where is he?
He just left.
Okay, I'll settle for you.
If you don't mind, it's a little late for small talk, mister.
Okay, I'll give it to you fast. It's about that note you wrote to Fran Fowler last November on the night Charlie Dana was supposed to die.
What note?
A little late for small talk, remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know anything about a note inviting Fran to stay out at your place at the dunes?
I told her. I didn't know who wrote it.
Were you telling the truth?
Yes, I was.
Okay, maybe you were. But you found out later who wrote it, didn't you?
No,
Now, tell me the truth. Or would you rather tell the police?
All right. I did find out, but it wasn't like you think.
Well, who was it?
Tommy Mason.
Tommy Mason, the funny man? His idea of a joke, no doubt. A hilarious joke that might have scared a poor kid to death.
No, you're wrong. It wasn't a joke.
Well, then why? Why did he do it?
Because he's in love with her. He made me swear I wouldn't tell her. He wanted to wait until the time when she needed him, and then he'd tell her himself.
Until she needed him? How was he going to make her need him? Use a condemned murderer's empty threat to frighten her out of her sanity so she'd need him? Is he crazy?
He is where Fran's concerned.
Where is he?
I don't know. He's been like a maniac all night since you left here. After every show, he's gone over to Fran's place looking for her. He's crazy jealous.
Jealous of whom?
Of you. He thought she was with you.
What if she were?
This was the night. He was sure she would need him, and instead she turned to you. Don't you see?
Yes, I do now. Thanks. It was only about a half mile to Fran's, but it seemed more like 20 miles until I turned off Clark up Erie Street and slammed into the curb. There was no one on the street. I was hoping he'd walked and I'd pass him on the way, but there was no one. I ran down the narrow hall, not daring to think what I'd find, and I flung open the door. Are you alone?
You're frightened.
Are you alone?
Well, yes, I've been sitting here since you left. I'm too tired to undress.
Come on, let's get out of here. Grab your coat.
But
Never mind. I'll tell you on the way. I shoved Fran out the door, and we started cautiously back down the hall. We got about halfway when I grabbed her arm. The front door was opening slowly, and a man made a dark silhouette against the gray light of the dawn. It was the funny man. The man with the slick, shiny hair and a permanent smile and the fast jokes. Only the smile was gone, and he had a gun in his hand.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
We started towards him slowly.
Tommy, it was you? You who were going to kill me?
You didn't know. You didn't know that I had a heart, too, just like Charlie Dana did.
Tommy, you never told me.
You never let me. You didn't need me. You would have laughed at me like you laughed at my jokes.
It couldn't have been you at the dunes that night.
I followed you out there.
And then drove back to the club. No, Tommy, no.
You were lonesome, but you didn't need me. You needed Charlie Dana. I thought if you were afraid you'd need me. And then you were afraid, but still you didn't need me. But I'd make you need me. I'd make you.
Step by step, we moved closer.
Keep coming.
I could see his face twisted with jealousy and hate, his eyes wild, as though a spark might make him explode.
And tonight, when you were afraid and should have needed me, you didn't. You turned to him.
Tommy, please.
But now you need me. Now that I have my finger on this trigger, you need me more than you've ever needed anyone in your life. You need me. You need me, Franny. You need me. Say it. Say you need me. I can't shoot. I can't shoot.
He started to shake, and I ran forward to grab his gun.
No.
Drop it. It's all right. I've got the gun.
I can't.
Is he hurt?
Not to what he will be. Get up, funny man.
No. Don't be too hard on him. He didn't realize.
No. I guess maybe he didn't. It's funny, isn't it? You never really know what's going on in some of the best combed heads. Well, that's the way it goes. A little later than usual this morning. The day shift has already moved in and let the night crew wander off to their own private little beds. Well, at least I got to see the sun come up. And here I sit, still trying to make it all add up. But no matter how I figure it, the only answer I get is, you never know about people. But bless them, maybe that's why we love them. See that man walking towards you with a smile on his face? What's he smiling about? Or is it just so you won't notice how he's screaming inside? Ooh, the trouble with me is I haven't had my coffee yet. Coffee, boy.
Night Beat, a dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. The part of Fran was played by Joan Banks. Paul Dubov played Tommy. Others in the cast were Georgia Ellis, Ken Christie, and Carol Richards. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Throughout the week, NBC brings you the best adventure mystery dramas on the air. You will hear action-packed, fast-moving plots to hold your interest right up to the smashing climax on such thrilling programs as Big Town, Mr. District Attorney, The Big Story, and Dragnet, every week on most of these NBC stations. On Dragnet, you'll hear documented cases from the Los Angeles police files. The Big Story brings you true tales from the front pages of America's newspapers. Mr. District Attorney, the champion of the people, takes you through an exciting episode in the conviction of a criminal. And tomorrow night on Big Town, you'll hear crusading editor Steve Wilson crack down on the forces of evil. For the best high-tension dramas, hear NBC's great mystery and adventure programs. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. The stories I run into start in a million different ways. This one began with a gun in my face and ended with the number 13.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
It's night again in Chicago, and that's when I start out looking for a story that'll make you say, it takes all kinds to make a world. Yeah, it sure does. One by one I passed them. That girl over there with her hair held tightly in place by a scarf. Each carefully marceled wave a hopeful assurance that she'll end up looking like somebody in a movie magazine. Or that beaten old man picking a crumbled, soiled newspaper out of a rubbish can. Why does he want a paper? He knows tomorrow will be the same for him no matter what happens in France or England or just around the corner. So tonight, I found myself in a quiet section of the residential district. I wondered what was behind the lighted squares of glass and what went on. Who were those people and what were their problems? I kept going, and I walked into...
Hey.
I kept going, and I walked into...
Hey, I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes?
I hesitate to bother you, sir, but do you have a match?
Have a lighter. Will that do?
Thank you.
There you are.
Oh, just a moment.
Yeah.
I am afraid I didn't get a light after all.
What's the matter, Pop? Afraid to ask me for the touch? Here.
Please, put your hands up.
What?
I'm not joking. I have a gun.
Oh, I see it.
Put your hands up.
Okay. Like this?
I warn you, I'll shoot if you try anything.
Well, rule number one when facing a stick-up man who's obviously pulling his first job, be very careful.
It's not my first.
Oh, a hardened old offender,
Hand me your wallet.
What, with my hands in the air?
Put them down, but remember what I said now.
Sure. Why is a nice-looking old man like you doing this?
Stop talking and hand me your wallet.
All right. Here.
Now turn around. Face the wall. And don't try to follow me.
Pop, hand me the gun and tell me all about it.
Don't come toward me.
The gun, Pop. Now hand it over. We'll have a talk. Maybe over a cup of coffee.
Stay away, I said.
I should have had better sense. A novice at a stick-up is like a kid with the Einstein theory. He doesn't know what it's all about, and he shoots out of sheer fright and nervousness. That sharp, searing pain across my temple before I blacked out told me a bullet had creased my skull. That's all I remembered until I woke up in a precinct police station.
Wow. Coming out of it, huh, Stone?
Oh, my head, Kalski. Did you get him?
Nope. Ground car picked you up. Somebody reported a shot.
Oh, and you brought me here.
Want to try sitting up?
Oh, sure. Oh. How close was it?
Quarter of an inch from pay dirt, I'd say.
Kalski, you are now looking at a prize boob.
Oh?
Oh, yes. Yes, I tried to take a gun away from a stick-up man.
You ought to have better sense.
But this was different. I don't think he ever did it before.
Guy has to start sometime.
Yeah, but he, want a description?
That's what I'm waiting for, Randy.
Man about 70.
70?
70.
Oh, with a long white beard.
Kalski, the man, was about 70. A little over 5.5 feet.
Sure. Name of Rip Van Winkle?
For all I know, it might be. When you find him, he'll have my wallet on him. Oh, and Kalski.
Yeah?
He's nervous enough to take a shot at anybody. Next time, he might be able to hold a gun a little steadier and on target. So, 10 minutes later, I left the precinct station. Kalski put out a call for the little old man who made like Jesse James. I went back to my desk at the Star. Maybe I had a story. I wanted to wait until the police picked up the old man because whatever made him turn bandit was a story. An hour passed, and I was just about getting ready to give up.
Oh, hi, Mr. Stone.
Oh, hello, Larry.
I didn't come in this time of night. You're almost always out.
Larry, you don't know how close I was to that permanently.
Hurt your head?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I was wearing my hat with a feather in the band.
Huh?
Yes, I got mixed up in a badminton game.
I don't get it.
Well, you work on it, kid. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, I get it. Feather, badminton.
A for effort, Larry.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot.
What?
Here's a package for you.
For me? What is it?
Oh, no. Open it up and see.
That's working them out, kid. Where did you get this?
Hey, that's a wallet with some dough in it.
It's mine. I said, where'd you get this?
Dan gave it to him.
Where is she?
Left, I guess.
By the elevator?
Guess so. Leastways, she was waiting for it when I...
You sure it wasn't a man?
I'm old enough to tell the difference.
Oh, I stand here chewing the feather.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, Mr.
Larry, stay by the phone. Take down anything that comes in. The woman who brought back my wallet had 8 floors to go down on that slow night elevator. I had a chance to beat her to the lobby, so I took the stairs 5 at a time. And then I was in the lobby, but the elevator had beaten me down. I ran over to the night man.
Well, hello there, Mr. Stone.
How are you?
You didn't come down in the elevator?
Yeah, how long you been down here?
Oh, just a couple of seconds.
A woman ride down with you?
Yeah, from your floor.
She go outside?
Yeah. Hey, something wrong?
Come on with me, will you?
Why all the fuss?
Would you recognize the woman if you saw her again?
Oh, I guess so.
Now, take a look both ways. Tell me if you see her.
Had on a little hat, old lady, too.
Old? How old?
60, 65, thereabouts.
You see her?
Ain't sure, but I think that's her at the bus stop.
Which side of the street?
Other side, next block.
Okay, thanks. See you later. Maybe it was she, maybe it wasn't. I hurried across the street just as a bus pulled up and took on a passenger. A little old lady wearing a little hat. I reached the stop as the bus was pulling away.
Hey, you always stick your head in front of buses like that, Buster?
Yeah, I get results and rides that way. Yeah. There were other vacant seats in the bus, but the one I wanted was next to a little old lady. A little old lady whose eyes were red, as though she'd been having a real good old-fashioned cry. She didn't even notice me sit down on the seat beside her. For a moment, I just sat and watched her frail, blue-veined hands pulling on a wet handkerchief and sobbing. There's something wrong, lady.
No, I'm all right.
Thanks for returning my wallet. There's $10 missing.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about your wallet.
You know, be easy to check that. We get off, we take a bus back to the Star Building. There's a night man and an office boy who saw it.
This is my stop.
2 blocks from the paper? That's a short ride. Now, look, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm willing to learn. Now, you can either tell me here or we can go somewhere else.
Can't you just forget it, please?
Forget it. I could have been killed.
I know, but he didn't mean it.
Who was he, or who is he?
He's my husband.
Oh. Well, do you want to talk about it?
If I tell you why he did it, will you help him?
Look, let's get off this bus. We'll take a cab to... Well, where?
I want to go home.
All right, I'll take you home. But something tells me I'm sticking my neck out.
Will you sit down, Mr. Stone?
No, not right away. Is your husband here?
No.
All right, let's have the truth, Mrs. Benson. Why did your husband hold me up?
It was the only way he could get the money tonight.
Well, why tonight?
We need $200 by tomorrow morning.
Oh? And why return my wallet to me with over $50 in it? Why didn't he keep it all?
He needed just enough to...
Enough for what, Mrs. Benson?
I want to show you something. Then you'll understand. Here. Look at these.
Now, what are these?
Look at them.
Yes, I'm looking. Well, what do they mean? Figures, problems, pages of them, notebooks filled with...
His system for winning at roulette.
Winning it? Oh, no.
For the last 10 years, he's done nothing but work on it.
Well, there's always one of those, the big brain who can sit down and beat the little numbers that go around.
Oh, please.
Does he have any idea how many of these systems have put period to a lot of rosy dreams?
He believes in it.
Yeah, they all do.
Harry's no fool. He's a brilliant man, Mr. Stone. He was a professor of mathematics.
Was?
Yes. But they said he was too old. Retired him.
No other jobs?
Nobody wanted a mathematician or a man almost 70.
Yeah, but this gambling, he should know better. The odds are never with the player, only with the house.
At first it was just a hobby. He liked to work out the odds, and then when things got desperate...
Yes, and now?
We have the same.
And tonight he's going to play his big system, Where?
I don't know. I told you, I don't know.
Did he take the gun?
No, he left it here.
Well, that's one good thing anyway.
What will you do now?
I don't know.
And the police?
They're looking for him already.
Oh, get to him first, Mr. Stone.
Why?
He won't let himself be arrested like a thief. That's the last thing he said. He wouldn't let the police arrest him.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
So there I had it, a little old ex-professor of mathematics with another system for beating an unbeatable game. There's something in each of us that makes every individual believe he's different. The I can do better philosophy is human. If it weren't, we wouldn't have the Brooklyn Bridge, the better mousetrap, or the fellow who blinks his eyes in bewilderment and says, I thought I had it all figured out. Okay, I decided to go after Professor Benson. I headed for a spot where I thought I might pick up some information.
What's in your mind, Stone? I said you wanted to see me.
Yeah, just for a minute, Cully.
Okay, what?
How's the game going?
Win a little, I lose a little. You want in?
No, not tonight. Tell the truth, Cully, I'm looking for a bigger layout.
Blue chips here are 500. How big can you get?
Oh, some. But this is a private poker party.
Yeah, I wouldn't want news of it to get around.
Oh, don't worry, Cully. I did you a favor.
Now remember, give me a break in your paper. Okay, what do you want?
I want to know where there's a roulette layout.
Don't know.
You get around.
Some, but I don't talk about it.
Just this once, Cully.
Why?
I'm looking for somebody who might be playing.
Why?
I gotta find him.
Why?
Oh, Cully, you're repeating yourself.
Anything else? Maybe I'd do you a favor. This? No. Besides, I don't think there's a wheel in town.
I think there is.
Okay, you think. Now, so long, sir.
All right.
Oh, before you go.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd make this the last stop. You ask funny questions, and you might not get such funny answers.
It was the same in the other 3 places. And after hitting each one, I checked with the police, but Professor Benson seemed to have got himself swallowed up somewhere in the 1,000 square miles of Chicago. And then I was on my way again, trying to remember all the likely places until...
Hi. Mind if I walk with you?
Now, what if I did?
Oh, I'd walk anyway. I need exercise. My doctor says so. Hey, you got a doctor?
Oh, yeah. What's your problem?
Oh, not much you couldn't clean up, Stone.
Oh, you know me, hmm?
Sure, everybody knows Randy Stone. You're real famous, like. You're getting even more famous tonight.
What's the answer to that?
You've been around a few places.
And that's illegal?
No, but it's silly.
Okay, so I'm silly. So long. Glad to meet you.
Hey, not so fast, Stone. We got to talk.
On what subject?
Money? That suit you?
All right. Get rid of it. What have you got to say?
Look, Stone, everybody wants peace and quiet. The whole world's in a mix-up because one guy don't agree with the other guy, right?
Oh, my. Another big thinker with brass knuckles.
Yeah. Now, like I say, everybody wants peace and quiet. But there's a lot of guys have to make a living in a funny way.
Why don't you get to the point?
Sure. Now, take you, for instance, for example, huh? If your boss says, Stone, go out and see how many gambling joints are buzzing. So you, being a nice, hard worker, you
Nobody
go out.
sent me out for that.
Okay, so nobody sends. But somebody sends me.
So what about it?
Nothing. Only everybody likes to see everybody else happy. Maybe this could do it for you.
How much is that?
$1,000.
I'm stirring up a lot of muddy water, huh?
Yeah. You've been at 3-4 places. And to the cops.
Not for what you think.
I ain't paid to think, only to carry out orders. This is one. Want the dough?
Listen, I'm only looking...
Yeah. Looking for somebody. Cut it out.
I'm telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth, too. Stone, put your nose in one more place where they don't like stuck-in noses. And somebody will push it right to the back of your head.
Sometime, somewhere, somebody said there's nothing like a quiet fireside, complete with pipe and slippers. But can you make a career out of it? For that matter, can you make a career out of a hold-up, a creased skull, and a nasty little hoodlum? Well, I was trying to. And just to find an ex-professor who had a very common disease. I can't lose-itis. Okay, I'd try 1 or 2 more places, and then I'd quit. I got the same answers. And by this time, the name of Randy Stone was enough to close more doors than a quarantine sign. I was asking for it, and I got it.
Stone, huh? Here I am again.
Oh, yes, I see. Okay, you win. Let's forget the whole thing.
Just like that, huh? Over here, you guys. I brought some friends.
I said you win. Let's forget it.
Yeah, you was told. You didn't pay attention.
Use your head, fella. Beat me up, and every newspaper in town will get the story. They'll really split things open.
I got orders.
Oh, forget them. Go back and tell the guy.
I got orders. Besides, you ought to be a good example to any other cookie who thinks he's a one-man vice squad. You guys close it.
Now, listen to me. I'm not out to set up a knockover for anything. I'm hunting for someone.
Don't go through that again.
It's the truth.
Max, start the ball rolling.
You're an idiot.
To think you could have had $1,000 instead of this. Hey, now your nose looks much better.
A professional working over is done with finesse. It's meant to stop just short of murder, but leave a nasty memory. When I came to, I was propped against a building in the alley, and the world at that moment was a bad place. And I was mad, and my anger was for the little professor with his system. Now I really wanted to find him and turn him over to the police. But I couldn't find him the way I'd started out. No one had talked. No one except perhaps one person. One of those strange, pathetic creatures known as a stoolie. I cleaned myself up at the nearest washroom, grabbed a cab, and went to see him at a dirty, shabby rooming house. He was there.
Look, Randy, you got yourself worked over already. What do you want from me, huh?
Just a little information, Gus.
Yeah, I know. Nobody comes to me except for that. Someday I'm going to buy a chicken farm and get out of this business.
Yeah, now listen, you know everything that goes on in this town, within limitations.
Yeah, I know plenty. But not everything.
Well, most of it. I want you to find out something for me.
Yeah?
There's a roulette wheel somewhere.
I don't know nothing.
Oh, come on, Gus, come on.
Randy, sir, help me. Hope to kiss a pig. Nothing.
Don't be afraid, Gus. I'm not starting a cleanup. I just want to find something.
I know from nothing.
For $50?
Huh?
$50.
It ain't good, Randy. I done a lot of favors for the cops. They shoot square with me. They kind of see I don't get hurt, but you...
This isn't a crusade. I want to find someone.
You leveling, Randy?
I'm leveling.
Well, if you ain't, if anything happens, both of us could end up real bad in the red. I do a nice business.
All right, just between you and me, Gus. Now, how about it?
$75?
Okay, 75.
Now?
I haven't got it on me. You know I'm good for it.
Then send it to me, not bring it personally.
All right. I'll send it to you.
Uh-huh. Now, who do you want to find?
So I left it with Gus, and he arranged to call me at a pay station as soon as he learned anything. I waited in front of the phone for an hour, and then an hour and a half. And all the while I wondered what was happening with Professor Benson. The thing was building up in my mind. It'd be ironic if his system worked with my money. What would I do? What could I do? Whose money would it be? Then the call came through in the booth. Hello?
Randy?
Oh, yeah, Gus.
Yeah, I got what you want, but you got to promise no knockover.
No, I told you that.
Okay. There's a little guy like you told me about. He's playing the wheel.
Where?
Remember the old Dixie Club?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a layout in the back. Everything from Pharaoh to one-armed bandits. All fancy.
And he's there?
Yeah. And Randy.
What?
You better get there quick.
Why? What's the matter?
This guy's hotter than a $2 pistol, and the boys running the joint are getting cross with him.
All right. I'll see you.
Now hold it,
What?
will you? You gotta know how to get in.
Yeah, that might be handy. How do I do it?
Well, when you get to the door, just say, the name is McReady, see?
Yeah. McReady. I went back to Mrs. Benson because I figured I might need her. And then the two of us went to the old Dixie Club. From the outside, it looked like a boarded-up house. But Gus knew what he was talking about. A knock on the door, it opened a tiny bit, and I was McReady. Then the door opened all the way. Mrs. Benson and I went in, back to a big room filled with people. But the dice game was deserted, so was the blackjack table, and the faro layout, also the poker tables. But the crowd pressed in against the roulette table, around a little old man whose face was flushed and whose skin glistened with perspiration. In front of him was a huge stack of chips, and as Mrs. Benson and I approached the table...
Number 11, black.
I won. I won again. It's working. You see, everyone, it's working.
Hello, Benson.
Stone.
Uh-huh. Doing all right, huh?
Please, you're not here to take me away.
Well, that's the general idea.
Harry, come with us.
Oh, no. Look, I've got all this, and there's more to come.
Okay, you're ahead. But there is something else. Earlier this evening, you...
Here's your money. Take it.
Harry, I've never seen you like this.
You're all this money, yours and mine.
Yeah, all right. Now, come on. Pick it up and let's go.
No, I won't let you take me till I play to the end of my system.
Your system, yeah.
Yes. I've waited for this. Waited till I knew I was right. Now you want to...
Take it easy. What's your trouble, mister?
Are you speaking to me?
Right to you.
Who are you?
I happen to run this place.
Well, it's slightly illegal.
Who are you?
I'll tell you. He's a newspaper man. His name is Stone. He wants to take me away.
Stone, huh? How'd you get in here?
I know a man named McReady.
I wish I knew how you got to know him.
I was introduced. Now, let's cut out the small talk.
$5,000 isn't small talk. That's what he's into me for.
Any objection if he takes it and leaves?
I won't. You listen to me.
Harry, don't you know what you've done tonight?
Yes, I do. I've won for us.
All right, then take it and leave.
No, I said no. For 40 years, I gave everything I had to other people. What did they give me? A gold watch and a wonderful speech. But Dora and I couldn't eat the speech. Maybe if you spent over half your life in trying.
Harry.
All right, well, what do we do now?
That's up to him. He's playing a closed table. If he wants to go on, all right.
I do.
That answer you, Stone?
And what'll happen?
What do you mean by that?
Figure it out.
I see. You know what could happen, don't you, Stone?
Sure, I've met a few muscle boys already tonight.
Could get worse.
Okay. All right, Benson, it's your funeral. You've got $5,000 in front of you now. You can take it and leave, or you can play. Suit yourself.
I'm going to play.
No, Harry, no.
I've got 2 more numbers, Dora, 2 more.
Okay, place your bet, Benson.
Yes. 27, red. $1,000. Will you take that much?
I'll cover it. Go ahead.
Harry, for the last time, don't.
No matter what we say, he'll do it. Let him go.
27, red.
All right, spin it.
Sure.
And be careful.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Please spin the wheel.
Harry.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Go on, spin it.
Sure. Number 27, red.
You see, you thought I was crazy, but look at it. I've won again.
Harry!
Benson. Come on, help me get him away from the table.
Take him into my office, will you? Get him away from here.
I've got to play one more.
Yeah, sure. You've got to play one more number. Give me a hand, somebody, please. That's it, thank you.
Don't
Come on,
take me away.
Benson.
Please,
Come on.
Get him out.
All right, on the couch. This way.
You don't understand. There's one more number. My money. Where is it?
It's at the table. Now, take it easy.
No, my money. Somebody will steal it.
It'll be all right.
Dora, go back and get it. Dora, go
I'll
back.
call for a doctor.
No. Let me up. Let me...
No, Harry, lie down.
My money. Get it, Dora, get it.
All right. Stay with him, Mrs. Benson. Don't let him up.
Yes.
Well?
How much does he have coming?
Including the last spin, 41,000.
Can you cover?
I'll cover.
All right, cash these.
Wait a minute. Maybe he wants to play some more.
He's finished playing. Cash these.
Okay. Eddie, get 41,000 in the safe and...
No! Leave it there.
What?
Leave it there.
What are you talking about?
He wants to play it.
Oh, he's crazy. Let me talk to him.
No, he won't listen. He wants to play it to the end. He made me promise I would.
What? Well, do you want to?
I promised.
All of it?
Yes.
Can you cover that much?
Not at 35 to 1. 20 cents on the dollar, take it or leave it. Take it and I'll spin. Leave it and I'll close the wheel now.
I'll play it.
Oh, for the love of heaven, Mrs. Benson, there's $41,000 here. Do you realize you can lose?
He said I couldn't.
I bet he's got...
I promised I'd play it on number 21.
Oh, let me talk to him. Let me...
No, I made a promise. Play it.
41,000 on number 21 red. Is that what you want?
Yes.
All right.
A fair spin.
A fair spin. And the last one.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
All right. 21 red. Number 13 black. How about that, fellas?
Are you satisfied, Mrs. Benson?
Yes, I am. I didn't want it to win. I didn't want that money because it killed him.
It killed him?
Yes, he's dead.
What? Oh, Mrs. Benson, what can I say?
Oh, I was so sure. And I lied to him. I lied. But I didn't want it. It killed him.
You lied. No, you kept your promise. You played for him.
Here.
But his system, it's... Why, Mrs. Benson, you played 21.
I know. And his last number was 13.
Well, here I sit, back in the office, wondering, watching the lights go out and the dingy gray of dawn creeping through the streets. And somewhere out there is an old woman, a lonely old woman who could have had almost $50,000, but at the loss of something that no amount of money could buy back for her. The man who quit, well, he was ahead. Yep. Where there's a winner, there's a loser. That's the way it's been, and that's the way it'll always be. Oh, well. Coffee, boy.
Night Beat, a dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. My stories start in many different ways. This one began in the shattering turmoil of a manhunt and ended in the quietness of the morgue.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
People are always telling me how lucky I am to have a job where all I've got to do is walk around Chicago at night looking for a story. It's a dandy little job, sure. All you need's a pneumonia jacket, an extra set of arch supports, and a goodly supply of penicillin, and you're all set. The city at night. Fascinating. That old nose for news, frozen stiff and ready to fall off. Those eagle eyes so watery and bloodshot from the wind they wouldn't serve a self-respecting canary. Yes, sir, it's lovely work if you can get it. And brothers and sisters, have I got it. Oh, I guess I was just bitter. I'd walked from the Loop to the near north side, waiting for a story to tap me gently on the shoulder, and so far it was no hits, no runs, and no errors. The streets were empty. Everybody was home hugging a radiator. And then, far away, I heard that lonely blues in the night sound, a police siren. And then another. And another. And then it seemed like there was a whole chorus of sirens singing about what a cruel, cruel world it all was. And then one siren separated itself from the rest and came closer, a prowl car coming down the street, stopping just a few yards away from me, and a police officer jumping out of it and hurrying to a call box. The officer passed under the street lamp, and I saw the excited look on his face, and I thought, all right, Stone, you lucky dog, let's go to work.
This is Malachek. Yeah, okay, we're on our way over there right now. Right?
Officer, just a second.
What do you want, mister?
What's up? Sounds like every squad car in the city's on the loose.
Look, I got no time, mister. Read it in the papers tomorrow.
Oh, I never touch the stuff. Look, the name is Stone, Chicago Star.
Oh, reporter?
Well, mildly, that's a general call, isn't it?
I got no time to stand here, Gavin. I'll give it to you fast. Gig Sanders busted loose.
Sanders? Great. When and how?
Read it in your paper, Stone. All right, Crossan, let's move. They got him trapped.
Gig Sanders, two-time loser, a killer, loose in a city of 4 million people, and everyone his enemy. I hurried to a phone, checked with the police, and then drove over to that part of Chicago called the Badlands. That strange area belonging to every city, surrounded by business section, yet itself run down, deteriorated, filled with tenements and abandoned factories. It was there the police had thrown a cordon around a boarded-up building. My pass got me through and up to the front line, and Police Captain Ireland.
Hello, Stone.
Oh, the hunt's on, huh?
I don't know. We'll see in a minute.
Sanders in that building?
Got a tip he would be. Wait a second. All right, Billings. Turn the searchlight on the building. Keep 2 of them on the roof. Run the others back and forth.
Right.
Sticking around, Stone?
Yeah, I guess so. You sure Sanders is in there?
No, but we couldn't afford to pass up the tip.
The tip? Where'd it come from?
No, it's just a phone call. But Sanders knew this neighborhood like the back of his hand, likely to be here.
Captain Ireland, ready with the speaker now.
Okay, bring it here. Malachek.
There's quite a crowd gathered for the kill.
Yeah, making it tough for us. Sanders is armed like an artillery corps, and if he's in there...
I see what you mean. How'd he get away?
Haven't got the full details yet, but he was being taken to the death house. Killed a cop.
He's a nice boy.
Here you are, Captain.
Okay. All right. Here it goes. Sanders! Sanders! Listen to me! There's no way out of that building that isn't covered. Come out with your hands in the air. We'll give you 20 seconds. Hear that, Sanders? 20 seconds. We'll count them off for you.
What if he doesn't show?
Tear gas first, then we'll go in after him.
Uh-huh. If he comes out with his hands up, he goes to the death house. If he doesn't...
He'll come out. Rats always believe there's a chance to beat the chair.
Well, his life is hope.
No sign of him. Malachek, come here.
Yes, sir.
Take the microphone. When I give the signal, start counting off 20 seconds.
Yes, sir.
You've given him more than 20 seconds.
Not him, the crowd. They won't push in so close when the counting starts.
Oh, look at them. Look at those faces. Perfectly normal human beings for 23 and a half hours of the day. Give them something like this for 30 minutes and they become a mob. Waiting, watching, hoping for the kill.
People, Randy, want to change them?
Yeah, sure. We'll retool and put out a nice new 8-cylinder model with a convertible soul.
Get ready, Malachek.
Yes, sir.
Captain, there's my story.
Sanders?
Oh, no. That's for the front page, boys. That mob, that's my story. Look at that young couple right over there. Look at those two. They're hoping Sanders will come out shooting.
Otherwise, they'll want their money back, huh?
I suppose so. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
I want to stand by that couple and listen to them.
All right. Malachek, start counting. But warn him first. Once more.
Sanders. We're going to start counting right now. Come out with your hands in the air or we'll cut you in half when we come in after you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I edged my way behind the young couple. They looked so nice and so human.
7,
but here they were, the same as all the rest.
9.
Go back just a little over 1,000 years, put on a toga, and take a seat in the Colosseum at Rome. Have a great day watching the gladiators butcher each other. Cheer for the lions, or, if you prefer people, cheer for the slave to kill the lion.
17.
Makes no difference. It's all the same holiday. Somebody gets killed.
20.
And then it started.
Let him have it!
It was all over in a few moments. The tear gas, the police rushing in with their masks on, the crowd straining forward to get a glimpse of Sanders. But there was no Sanders when the police came up.
Nobody in there, Captain Ireland.
He must have been.
No, sir, not a soul. We've covered every inch.
I watched the crowd, and strangely enough, there was relief on their faces, and even a little shame that they'd hoped for the kill. But the young couple in front of me.
He wasn't there, Ken. He wasn't there.
I know. Come on. Let's get out of here, quick.
Ken, I'm sick.
Evie, hold on to me. Let us through, please. Let us through.
Yeah, here, this way. Come on. Will you clear the way, please?
She's sick, mister.
Maybe it's a natural reaction to disappointment.
Huh?
Nothing. Come on. We'll get through this way. Will you let us through, please? Excuse me, will you? Please. Thank you.
She's got to sit down, mister. She's got it.
Okay. Here's my car. Let her get in here.
Kenny wasn't there. He's loose.
Never mind. Come on, baby. I'll get you home.
You better let me drive him.
No. We'll be all right.
Ken, I'm sick.
Just a little while, Evie. We'll be home.
Look, fella, it's easy to see what's the matter. She can't walk home in her condition.
It ain't far.
A block would be too far. I'll get a cab.
No. I don't want anybody around us.
Don't want anybody around you? That's a laugh. You bring her out here to this. Why didn't you take her on a nice tour through the packing house?
Shut up. What right you got to talk like that?
The founding fathers gave it to me.
You don't know nothing about it. You don't know.
Ken, take me home.
Look, my car is still here. You're in no spot to refuse help no matter what your reason. Now, come on.
Let him. Let him take us, Kenny, please.
Come on. They lived very close. It didn't take over 3 minutes to get to their tenement building. I wanted to take her to a hospital, but she refused. She refused in a way that made me look at her hard. And there was another thing, the way she reacted when the police found out Gig Sanders wasn't in the oil factory. Terror. That's what it was, sheer terror. And I helped her husband carry her up the stairs and into their meager little flat.
On the couch, mister.
Yes.
Okay. There. Now, have you got a phone?
What for?
Call a doctor.
We ain't got a phone. But there's a drugstore.
No, Ken.
But, baby...
We gotta get out. We ain't got time for a doctor now. Just let me rest.
You're in no
gotta
condition
get
to refuse it, Doc.
I'm all right now.
Yeah, sure. It ain't gonna be for 3 weeks. That's what the doctor
3
said.
weeks, and you drag her out to that great exhibition? Why didn't you...
Shut up. Told you before you didn't know nothing about it. Mind your own business and leave us alone. What are you looking like that for?
What's the matter with you, with both of you?
Nothing.
Oh, yes, there is. You're scared stiff. Of what?
Please go, like Kenny says. Leave us alone.
Well, let me phone for a doctor from the drugstore. I won't come back. Just a doctor.
Evie?
No, we ain't got time, Kenny. Don't you know that? We ain't got time. He's loose, Ken. He's loose.
Evie, baby, don't.
You're talking about Gig Sanders, aren't you? Why? Why are you afraid of him? Do you know him? Come on, what about a talk?
No, not to nobody.
You're scared of Sanders. Why?
Look, mister, you helped us, all right? Thanks. Now get out of here.
We gotta tell somebody.
I said nobody. You know what'll happen.
We gotta tell. Mister, who are you?
My name is Stone, Chicago Star.
Newspaper.
That frighten you?
Maybe he can help. Maybe he can.
Nobody can. You know that.
I'll tell him.
Evie, shut up.
It was Kenny who tipped the cops.
Evie.
I had to tell somebody. Maybe he can help.
That's the truth, Kenny?
Yeah. It was me tipped the cops.
That Sanders was in the factory?
I thought he might be, but he wasn't.
All right. Now tell me something else. How do you know so much about it? Come on, if you want me to help, I gotta know you're on the level, so tell me.
Tell him.
How do I know that he won't go straight to the police? How do I know that?
We gotta trust somebody. We gotta.
Can we trust anybody?
Well, try it and see.
Him and me in the same gang once. I did time, but I got out before he did. I went straight because...
Go ahead.
It was for me.
Oh. All right, now, how about the tip to the police? There'll be a reward, you know. Sanders is big time.
I didn't do it for no reward.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr. Stone, help us.
How? How can I help?
By getting out now and keeping your trap shut
And that'll help? No, you'll be back where you started. Your wife knows that, or she wouldn't have asked me to help.
Gig will come after us.
How would he know that you gave the information to the police?
He'll guess. We used that factory plenty of times for a hideout. Nobody else knew how to get in. There's a cellarway.
All right. Let me ask you another question, Kenny.
What?
Why did you tip the police?
Gig hates me.
Why?
Kenny married me while Gig was still in the pen.
Oh, you were his girl?
No, I never was. I never was his girl at all. I was like everything else Gig liked. Everything was his, no matter who it belonged to. To him, a girl was like anything else. His gun, his clothes. Anytime Gig Sanders wanted something, it was his. I never loved him. I told him, but he just laughed like what I felt didn't mean nothing.
I see. And now?
Now he's loose. He hates me because of Evie, and he's going to know I tipped the coppers. Mr. Stone, if it's the last thing he does, he's going to get us, Evie and me.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Those kids were scared, plenty scared. I asked them the only question that made sense, and I got my answer.
Go to the police? Sure. A guy who serves time goes to the cops. He tells them he gave him a bum steer. They got every copper in Chicago around that factory while Gig gets away someplace else. Yeah, sure. They'd believe me, wouldn't they?
Well, try it. I'll go with you.
Listen, you don't know. I changed my name. I moved all over the state looking for a job. This is the only place I could get one. I had to come back here.
So what does that prove?
It'll be in the papers. He'll lose his job, Mr. Stone.
I can't do that. Not with Evie.
Then what do you want me to do?
Look, maybe if I give you A list of the places the coppers might find Gig. Maybe you could tip him.
What if he doesn't show up?
There ain't many places he can go.
Look, maybe by this time he's out, maybe even out of the state. He's killed an officer. He won't dare to stay here.
Gig, as long as he knows Evie and me are still alive, he'll stay. He hates me so much, he'll take that chance.
Does he know you live here?
No. I ain't even seen any of the old bunch at all. I moved around.
Always moving to keep away. Mr. Stone, go to the police.
But don't tell him nothing about me.
Will you get it through your head that they'll protect you?
Even so, Gig's got friends. If they find out it was me.
All right, yeah.
So you gotta go to the police.
All right. Where's the drugstore?
Right at the corner. You'll see it.
All right, stay right here. Keep your door locked until I get back. It was a short 2 minutes to the corner drugstore. I put in my call and started back to the flat. The street was quiet, deserted. The dirty tenements a solid block of ugliness against the night. I reached the tenement entrance, and I was just about to start up the steps.
Hey, pal.
Huh?
Don't turn around. Stand nice and quiet. That's it.
What is this, a holdup?
Sure, a holdup. Now listen to me. Take out a cigarette.
What?
Take out a cigarette. That's it. Now light it. Act natural. Good boy. Now,
Where are you?
in your car at the curb, smart boy.
What?
Don't turn around, I said. Take a look up and down the street.
I am.
Coppers?
No.
Okay. Now come here to the car. You're gonna do like I tell you, understand?
What do you want? Who?
You know who I am, Stone.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Listen, I'm going up to that flat you come from.
Don't do it, Sanders.
Sure, I'm gonna do it. This gun says I can do it.
Leave the two kids alone.
Yeah. All alone.
You're wasting time, Sanders. Time you could use to better advantage.
Sure. Now step back a couple of feet. I'm getting out. Just stand there. Keep smoking a cigarette. Walk ahead of me. Straight in that house. Move. Stop here.
Sanders, you're not going to do this and still have time to get away.
Real concerned about me, ain't you? Don't worry, I'm a big boy.
All right, give him a break.
Sure, like they was going to give me. Now listen, you're going back up to that flat. You're going to knock on the door and you're going to tell them to let you in. That clear?
What if I don't?
So be a hero. I'll get in anyway. It's just easier this way. Okay?
All right.
So let's go.
The slow walk up the stairs was a nightmare. I walked down the hall toward the flat. The flat where those two kids waited behind a door that they thought would keep the terror and death away from them. And then?
Knock.
Who is it?
Answer.
Sanders, please don't do it.
You gonna answer him?
Who is it?
Answer.
It's Stone, Kenny, but I...
It was a long time.
Inside. Shut her up or I will.
Evie, don't.
You Stone. Lock that door. All right, Kenny boy. Over on the couch.
Gig, don't hurt Evie. She's gonna have...
I see, yeah. Congratulations.
Listen to me.
Shut up. Stone.
What?
Get over to the couch. On your way, turn out the light. Stay in line with the window so I can see against the street lamp. Now sit down. We'll talk.
You gonna listen to me, Gig?
Sure, I'm a wonderful listener. Only make it good and funny, huh?
Even me fell in love, Gig. You ain't gonna blame us for that.
Evie and you fell in love. You think I worried about that? You think I cared what she did? Nah. It's what you done tonight.
He was afraid, Sanders. Afraid that you'd come after him because of Evie.
I thought about it, mister. Yeah, plenty. But I figured let it go. It ain't worth it. But this tonight is something different. Turning stoolie.
You'll never get out of Chicago, Sanders. Every cop in the city will be looking for you.
It's nothing new to me. Now you, Kenny boy. You did tip the coppers, didn't you?
Gig, listen.
We're nothing.
You haven't got a chance, Sanders.
No chance? I always got a chance. My luck's good. You know why I wasn't in that factory, Kenny boy? Because my luck held. I had to get some dough first. And you know where I was? In that crowd, just standing there watching.
You were in the crowd?
Yeah, like watching my own funeral, only the coffin was empty. And I saw you and Evie, Kenny. That's how I knew where the tip come from.
All right, you're smart, Sanders. Now be smarter. You got us where you want us. We can't make a move, but if you kill us, you'll kill the time you need to get away.
I got ways. Like I come here. I followed you in a cab, then hid in your parked car. Now, ain't that smart? Evie, you ain't said nothing.
Jig, you gonna kill us?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, Evie.
Sanders, you said your luck held. It can't hold forever. What you're doing now is giving the police minute after minute to catch up with you, and they will sooner or later. You killed an officer, Sanders. You know what that means?
Him or me, it had to be that way.
Doesn't have to be this way.
This way?
What Kenny done was to save Evie's life and the baby's. Right or wrong, that's why he did it. What would you have done to save your own life?
I killed a cop to save my life. That answer you?
Yes, I guess it does.
So it makes sense. That's a radio there by you, ain't it?
Yeah.
Send it on. We're all gonna sit here and wait for the news. We're gonna see how I'm making out.
We sat in the semi-darkness of the room. The only light came from the window that faced the street. Then the 11 o'clock news broadcast came on.
The meeting tomorrow will tell us more. Tonight in Chicago, the city's manhunt goes on for Gig Sanders, convicted and sentenced killer. Acting on an anonymous tip, the police surrounded the old Phillips factory, but Sanders had not been there or had escaped before the cordon could be drawn tightly. Meanwhile, rewards totaling $2,800 have been offered.
Shut up! 2,800. A real nice nest egg, huh, Kenny boy?
It wasn't any reward.
There is now.
Sanders.
What do you want, Stone?
You said you were smart.
So, what are you getting at?
Maybe you forgot one thing.
Yeah?
You came here in a cab.
So?
Did the driver get a look at your face?
Don't give me that. The cops would be here long before now.
Oh, no, Sanders. Only about a half hour has gone by since they tried for you in the factory. Figure it out. By the time the cab driver reports, by the time the police check...
Shut up.
You're wasting time. You got half a chance if you take it.
Yep. Yeah. Guess you talked me into it. Okay, I'll get going.
Jig, no. Please. No.
Gig, not Evie, not the baby.
The baby? Evie? I could have been rotting in that factory by now.
What satisfaction will you get from this, Sanders?
Satisfaction? Everything in the world.
You were friends.
Yeah, friends. Did you tell him how good friends we were, Kenny? Did you tell him how we played in the same dirty, stinking streets? How we ate the same slop in the orphan asylum? Did you tell him all that?
Jig.
Yeah, Evie, did you tell him how I was always the one to get Kenny out of jams when we were kids? They tell you that, Stone?
No, but you're thinking of it. Remember it.
I am. Oh, I am.
All Kenny wanted was a decent life.
Even if it cost mine, huh?
He wanted to live for his wife and their baby.
And I want to live.
For what?
You shouldn't have said that, Stone. I didn't have nothing against you till you said that. I was going to death house when I busted loose. I figured a million ways to get away, and I took the chance when it come. I killed a cop. And I know what happens to a cop killer. I know. Yeah, they're coming. I guess you were right about that cabby. The minute the coppers will all be set up and ready to get me. Yeah, but I killed a cop. That's how bad I wanted to live. But nobody wants me to. Nobody. You hear? Nobody.
Listen, Sanders.
You listen. A couple of weeks ago, there was a leopard loose. And you know what the people said? You know, Stone?
Yes, I know. They felt sorry for the leopard.
That's right. Everybody wanted that leopard taken alive. Nobody wanted it killed but me. I'm a human being, and they want to see me cut to pieces.
Maybe because that's all the difference in the world between you and that animal.
Is there? You're going to tell me the leopard would know better if he killed to get away? Well, I don't. No, because that's the way I learned to live.
Because you didn't want any other way, Sanders. Because it was the easiest way. You grew up in a gutter. You never wanted to get out of it. Other men did.
I ain't other men. I'm Gig Sanders.
Gig, they're all around. You ain't got a chance.
Yeah, and that's dandy for you. Just what you want.
No, Gig. No, I swear it ain't.
You swear. Now, you listen. I'm going out. Yeah, but not with my hands up. And I ain't gonna die alone.
Sanders, don't. Do one last decent thing. Let these kids alone.
Gig, listen. I'll go with you.
Kenny, no.
Gig, I'll go with you. It'll be you and me again like it always was. I'll help you get away. We can do it together, Gig. We always used to, me and you, remember?
You're crazy, Kenny. If they think you're going out with him, you won't have a chance. They'll cut you down with him. You won't.
Kenny, stay here.
I gotta do it, Evie. You gotta see that. I have to do it. Gig, you want to kill me, all right. I'll be dead if that's what you want, but I'm going out with you. I got a gun.
Kenny, put it down. Don't.
So you got a gun. You got a gun. All right, shoot me. Why don't you shoot me?
I could have. Any time we were sitting here.
But you didn't. You was always soft, Kenny boy. You see, Stone, that's the difference between him and me.
Then shoot me. Go ahead, kill me now. But even if you don't, I'm going out with you, Gig.
Kenny, you're not talking sense.
Sanders, we know you're in there. Sanders, this is Captain Ireland. Listen to me. Sanders.
I'm listening, copper.
Sanders, there are innocent people in that building. We'll give them time to clear. If you've got any human decency left in you, wait before you do anything. But I warn you, Sanders, come out with your hands in the air.
What are you going to do?
You know what I'm going to do? Coppers! Coppers, I'm coming out! Right out the front door. Tell everybody else to stay in. Tell them.
All right, Sanders, but with your hands up. Now listen, people. Stay in your rooms, lie down on the floor, and stay away from windows and doors.
I'm coming, coppers.
They'll kill you, Gig.
Sanders, go out with your hands in the air.
Oh, sure. Now, Evie, Kenny.
Gig.
Sanders.
Do it then, Gig. Do it and get it over with.
Kenny, boy, get where I can see your face.
Think what you're doing, Sanders.
Shut up, son. And the light by the window, Kenny. Now, let me look at you. You said you'd go out with me.
Yeah.
Kenny, don't lie to me now. Don't lie now.
I'll go with you, Gig.
Swear it's the truth, Kenny. Swear it's the truth.
I don't have to swear it, Gig. You're looking at me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going out alone.
And what about Kenny, Evie?
They can rot in this stinking world. They can rot. Not me. I'm going out. I'm going out and meet all the coppers in Chicago.
Gig, stay where you are.
He's gone. He's gone.
Sanders, come out with your hands up.
Hello, coppers!
There was $2,800 lying down there, Kenny. Better get down and pick it up.
I don't want it.
You had all the chance in the world. Why didn't you kill him?
I couldn't. Gig Sanders was my brother.
Now it's almost dawn again, and I've written another story. It's a story that began a long time ago when a man looked up and answered a question with another question. Am I my brother's keeper? There's an answer to that, and our society has made it. Yes, you are your brother's keeper, but the kept must be worthy of the keeping. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. Others in tonight's cast were Ted DeCorsia, Georgia Ellis, Shepard Menken, Louis Haight, Herb Ellis, and Alan Slate. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Throughout the week, NBC brings you the very best adventure mystery dramas on the air. You'll hear action-packed, fast-moving plots to hold your interest right up to the smashing climax on NBC's thrilling mystery shows. During these stellar programs, you'll hear mystery and intrigue, adventure and high-tension drama. Match your powers of observation against the best in detective fiction in solving crimes and unraveling intrigue. There's fast-moving action to lift you from beside your radio into the romantic land of mystery and adventure. These exciting dramas are as interesting as tomorrow's race results today. And you'll hear them every night over most of these NBC stations. Remember, if it's mystery and adventure dramas you're tuned for the best on NBC. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began when I bumped into a little old man who claimed he was dead, and proved it.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
My job is to prowl Chicago at night looking for that ever-loving story that's always out there in the darkness waiting for me. But, like most working stiffs, one day a week, I'm a free man. And this was that day. It was one of those hot spring days that come at you out of nowhere. Hot like only Chicago and one other place can get. I woke up late in the afternoon and went outside for a breath of humidity. I opened my collar and rolled up my sleeves. Man, it was sizzling. There was a little park ahead. I was just going to stretch out on the grass when I saw him. My first thought was, pass the salt tablets quick, the sun's got me and I'm seeing things. But no, he was real, all right. Sitting on a park bench on this boiling day, a fat old guy in a heavy overcoat with muffler, galoshes, and gloves. I went over to him. He looked up and smiled.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Sit down. Sit down. You look tired.
Thank you, yeah.
Nothing is worth getting tired for. Man is here for such a little while.
Yeah. Look, forgive me for bringing this up, but I think it's only fair to tell you, at this moment, the temperature in this city is pretty close to 100 degrees.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. For 2 cents, I'd trade everything I'm wearing for one hard shafter and Mark's fig leaf.
You are lucky, young man, to feel the good sun. Yes, that is something fine. As for me, I am chilled to the bone.
In that overcoat and that muffler?
Yes.
How could any living thing be cold on a day like this?
I suppose that is just it.
What?
I'm not a living thing. No, I'm afraid I'm quite dead. I think I'll walk around a bit. Goodbye.
Say. I suppose I'm just inquisitive, but you see, that's my business. I'm a newspaper man.
Oh, yes. An honorable profession.
Oh, thank you. Why do you think you're dead?
Think? So you don't believe me either?
Yeah, it's silly, isn't it? When did you die?
The funeral was last week. A very nice funeral. I regret only that there were no plumed horses.
Plumed horses?
In the old country, that was a requirement for the head of a family. But in America, of course, such customs seem foolish.
Yeah, foolish.
You still don't believe me?
Well, let's say that I'm just an old skeptic.
All right, young man. To doubt everything in this life is to miss so much of life's true magnificence. You need a lesson. Come with me.
So I went with him, this strange man so comfortable in an overcoat on this oppressive day. We stopped at the first large office building and went into the lobby. The old man took me to the directory on the wall.
Can you find the name of a doctor?
A doctor? Why do you want a doctor?
You will see.
Uh-huh. Yes. There's a Dr. E.M. Herrick, suite 706.
Is he good?
I don't know. He's the only one listed.
He doesn't have to be too good. Come on.
The receptionist in the doctor's suite eyed us quite distastefully, but in a reasonable time we were ushered into Dr. Herrick's presence. He was a nice little fella, but the sight of the old man seemed to confuse him.
Now, just what seems to be the trouble, Mr.
Henry Kazarian.
Yes. Well?
I want you to examine me and tell the newspaper man what you find.
Newspaper man? Well, I'm afraid I don't understand.
And I'm afraid I can't help you, Doc. Why not examine him and let it go then?
Yes. Please do.
But what seems to be the trouble with you? What are your symptoms?
My symptoms were discovering the world no longer needed me. That can be very painful.
Oh, but this isn't anything to...
Oh, come on, Doc, will you? It's my day off. Let's get it over with.
All right. Now, Mr. Kazarian, take off your overcoat and shirt.
The old guy undressed to the waist. His skin looked yellow and faded, but I figured that could happen to anyone his age. The doctor smiled, fastened his stethoscope to his ears, and began his examination. I put a cigarette in my mouth, but I never lit that cigarette. I was watching the doctor. I was watching the color drain from his face. I was watching his fingers start shaking like he was trying to make 9 the hard way. The doctor touched the stethoscope to a dozen parts of the old man's chest. Now he looked up, and it seemed to me, in those few seconds, he'd aged 10 years.
Mr. Kazarian, I want you to wait in the next room.
What did you find, Doctor? I'm sure the newspaper man would be most interested.
I told you to wait in the next room. Take your coat and shirt. I'll be right with you.
Yes, all right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
I can't believe it. It's impossible. It's a trick, a hypnotic trick. No, that's not true.
Oh, you're not going to tell me that old man is really...
Not the slightest heartbeat.
What?
No cardiovascular reaction whatsoever. That man is...
Oh, no, this is crazy. Maybe it's your stethoscope. Maybe it's on the bum or something.
No, that's not the answer.
Then what is the answer? Are you trying to tell me that guy is really dead? Let's get him back in here. Let's talk to him.
Yes, by all means. He's gone.
But how?
This door leads into the hall. He's not in the hall. You're not going to print this in the paper, are you?
Print it? How could I? The city editor'd fire me so fast my head'd spin. He'd say I was dead drunk. But if you were to confirm...
No.
What?
Never. If you or your editor or anyone else ever calls me about this, I'll swear I never saw you or the old man before in all my life. I have to protect my reputation. You can understand that, can't you?
Understand? At this point, I understand very little, Herr Doctor. After I left the doctor's office, I looked around the building for the old man. He was gone, all right, but his memory lingered on. Who was fooling who? I went into a phone booth and called the medical association to ask about the professional standing of Dr. Herrick. A nasal-voiced young woman informed me that Dr. Herrick was one of the most able physicians in the city, and her manner indicated that I should have had my mouth washed out with soap for even asking. After that, I looked up the name Kazarian in the phone book. It was there, Henry Kazarian, 612 Post Street. I telephoned, but the line was busy, so I hopped into a cab and took a ride out. It was a neat little white bungalow, but all the shades were down. I rang the bell for a long time before the door opened.
Yes? What is it?
I'd like to talk to Henry Kazarian.
Who?
Henry Kazarian. Oh, what's wrong?
You have not heard about my Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He is dead.
But, lady...
We buried him 2 days ago.
But that can't be.
Oh, I can't believe it myself. It seemed like I suddenly wake up and there would be Henry saying, "All right, Mama, get up. Get up. You're lazy enough for 3 wives."
He was buried 2 days ago?
Yeah, from Carell's Temple of Rest. A very wonderful service. All that was lacking was the plumed horses.
The plumed horses?
Papa, he would have been so mad if he knew there was no plumed horses.
Yes, he certainly was. I mean that, Mrs. Kazarian, I'd like to talk to you. May we go inside?
No,
but
we are in mourning. If you want to know about the funeral, talk to Mr. Carell.
Yes, I buried Mr. Kazarian. Why do you ask?
Why, for the very trivial reason, Mr. Carell, that I spent the afternoon with him.
I'm a very busy man, Mr. Stone, very busy.
You think I'm crazy, huh? Well, I never saw Kazarian in my life, but here's how he looked to me this afternoon. A short, fat guy, about 65. Looks like he ate too much good food all his life. A mustache that just about drooped down to his chin. You look a little pale, Mr. Carell.
You saw his picture somewhere?
No! I tell you, he's alive. I even went with him to a doctor.
Oh, really? Well, my goodness. And what did the doctor say?
He,
Yes, Mr. Stone.
All right. Where is he buried?
At a cemetery at the edge of the city. I've got to go there on, another matter, if you care to come along.
Yes, indeed I would, Mr. Carell. Indeed I would.
Right here, Mr. Stone, this mound. You see, the earth is very fresh and the flowers have hardly wilted.
But listen, Mr. Carell, it can't be him.
Mr. Stone, the only reason I'm doing this is to avoid any stupid, sensational publicity. Carell's Temple of Rest is one of the most highly respected...
Yes, and Dr. Herrick is one of the most highly respected doctors, and Mrs. Kazarian is a grieving widow. There's got to be a logical answer to this. There's just got to be.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
When the undertaker brought me back to town, I called an insurance clearinghouse to find out if anyone had cashed in a policy on Mr. Kazarian. No, Mr. Kazarian didn't carry any insurance, so that wasn't the answer. I was beginning to get a little panicky. It was after 6 o'clock and I wasn't a bit hungry. I started walking home to see if I could figure out one thing in all that happened that made even a little sense. Best I could come up with was that everybody was right, that Kazarian really was dead. I was, too, and I didn't know it yet. I laughed a great deal at that. But just the same, I weighed myself on the first penny scale I passed, and I looked at my tongue in the little mirror. I was just a couple of blocks away from home, and I felt somebody tugging at my sleeve.
Mister,
Mm-hmm.
What's the matter? You hot or something?
What are you talking about?
Somebody's following you.
Following me? An old guy wearing an overcoat?
No, a young fella. What? Don't look back yet, but he's wearing a blue sport jacket and he's built like an aircraft carrier.
How long has he been following me?
For the last few blocks.
All right. Here. Take this and then get lost.
Sure. Thanks, mister. I figured you ought to know.
I kept walking along, and after a while I spotted his reflection. If only 1/4 of those shoulders in that blue sport jacket were really his, I was in trouble. I stopped to light a cigarette. He stopped to tie his shoelace. I wiped the perspiration off my face. He smiled. No, he wasn't following me. It's just my imagination. I turned down a quiet street a few blocks from my rooming house. I looked back. Nobody. I found it was much easier to breathe. And then up ahead of me, somebody was waiting at the corner. Yup, shoulders. He'd circled around the other side of the block. Oh, great. I started walking past him like he wasn't even there.
Mister.
Let
me say it just once.
Sure.
Lay off.
Fine. Goodbye now.
I mean it. Lay off.
Now you've said it twice.
Leave it alone. It's none of your business.
I presume we're both talking about the same thing. The little man who wasn't there, Kazarian. What's the story on this guy? What's the gimmick? How can he be dead and buried?
Mister, I ask you real nice and polite.
Yeah, I know. Emily Post couldn't have done it better. But still, I'm going to find out.
You're not going to find anything. You're not going to find a thing.
After a while, I started climbing out of the fog. And the way I felt, I wanted to climb right back in. All I had to worry about was history's most promising headache. It was after 9 o'clock when I got to my room. I took a couple of aspirins, flopped across the bed, and tried to relax. Only the street lamp kept shining in my eyes. I got up to pull down the shade. Then I saw the gray sedan parked across the street. 3 guys piled out. They started toward the rooming house. And leading the way was my old pal Shoulders, back for an encore. I headed for the back stairs. I went across a couple of backyards, came out on a side street, and now I was starting to get sore. I found a taxi and headed back for Kazarian's house. Taxi let me out about half a block down the street. Kazarian's house was all dark except for a tiny window in back. I went around to the window and looked in. And there was the old man. He was sitting in a leather chair smoking a pipe. I tapped on the window. He turned, recognized me, and smiled. And someone out in front of the house spotted me.
There he is. Where?
I started running toward the backyard. They were right on my tail. I came to a fence. I found the gate. It was locked. Shoulders, who was heading the pack, was the first to reach me.
You just won't stop, will you, Mr. Snoop?
No, I just not. I tore away from him. I ran down the length of the backyard fence, tried to find an opening. The others were coming up fast. I told myself I could never jump over that fence, but with those guys closing in, I was a hard man to convince. And the next thing I knew, I was crouching behind a couple of garbage cans in the alley. And I thought, what a fine way to die, behind a garbage can, my lifeblood draining out on some old melon rinds.
He couldn't have gotten away. He must have.
I told you to stop him. And then the footsteps passed me. My heart decided it was okay to start beating again. And then I went back to the house, and I found the old man's window. It was dark now, like the rest of the house, but the window was open a few inches. I started pushing it up some more.
Who is that?
It's me, Randy Stone. I'm coming in.
I would not advise that, young man. Really, it is quite foolish.
Yeah, nobody knows that better than I. I'd appreciate it if you didn't call for help.
Why should I?
Where's the light switch? Oh, yeah. I see you're not wearing your overcoat now, nor your gloves. You're not so cold now, huh?
No. Isn't that strange here in the house? I do not feel it nearly so much.
Yeah, that is funny.
Why are you coming toward me like that?
I want to shake your hand, Mr. Kazarian, just a gesture of friendliness.
But somehow you do not look at all friendly.
Your hand.
Surely.
I thought so. It's as warm as mine. Very nice pulse, too. What's the story, Mr. Kazarian?
Oh, you are mistaken, young man. I am dead.
How were you able to fool that doctor? Why did the undertaker swear he buried you? Why is your wife in mourning? Why was I slugged?
But these are questions I cannot answer. I'm an old man, and I'm very tired. Oh, would you say I was impolite if I asked you to leave?
Oh, sure, I'll leave. Would you say I was impolite if I asked you where I could find the nearest police station? Because that's where I'm going.
You're not going anywhere, Stone.
Papa, I told you to holler for us if he bothered you.
I knew there would be trouble. I just knew it.
Dr. Herrick.
Life is full of trouble. Death is endless peace.
If this gets in the paper, it'll be the end of everything. Oh, and Mr. Correll of the Temple of Rest. What a spot for a chorus of Auld Lang Syne.
You keep real quiet, Stone.
Oh, that's a deal, Shoulders.
Well, I wish you would all leave. In my lifetime, I saw none of you. Now that I am dead, you crowd around me like vultures.
Yes, Papa, we leave just so you shouldn't get excited. Come, boys.
Well, leave me in peace. Huh? Leave me in peace.
Papa likes to sit by himself sometime. George, you stop looking so tough. Nobody's afraid of you. Peter, why you just stand here and all? Go to kitchen, put up hot water for tea.
Yes, Mama. Mama? Corell, you call her Mama? Of course, sir.
Go to the kitchen, Peter, all of you. Go. I will explain to the young man.
Perhaps I should do it, Mama.
Mama, again, you too, Dr. Herrick?
Yes.
No, I explain, Armand. You only use big doctor words. Nobody understand. Now, all of you, go. I said go to the kitchen. And, George, the bread box is some baklava. You serve with the tea.
Yes, Mama.
Mama.
And you, young man, you come in here, into parlor.
Yes, Mama.
And we will close the door. Now, I will tell you everything.
So they're your sons?
Yeah. Well, fine, boys. So Papa and I, we would have liked at least one girl.
The doctor and the undertaker. Now it begins to make sense, but their names.
For their work, they said they need American names. The whole country to name Caesarea. Young man, that was her name. Meant something.
But here it's got to be Corell and Herrick, Tell me about Papa.
Yeah, excuse her. 1910, Papa and me and the kids, we come to America. Even though in old country, Papa's head of whole Caesarian clan, we come, so kids go to school. Become more than gold herders, rug merchants. And they do. My boys do. But they marry, they drift away. Soon Papa and I are alone. And if the kids come over once every 2 months to see Papa, we think we are lucky. Imagine that, Papa Caesarian head of whole family. And then last week, it started with Papa. I heard alarm clock go off. I got up like I always do, sleepy, thinking, old country exists for so many thousand years without alarm clocks. Why we need, huh? Why I shut alarm clock? Oh, Papa, where are you? I hurried to the house, and I found him in the kitchen, sitting at table in overcoat. Papa, so here you are. You feel all right.
For dead men, I feel all right.
For a dead man, you should not talk like that, Papa. You got many years ahead of you.
I got eternity ahead of me. Call my sons. Tell them Papa is dead.
You feel sick, huh? I call Armand. He's a fine doctor.
Oh, woman, listen to me. I am not sick. I am dead. Do not call Armand the fine doctor. Call my son Peter the fine undertaker. Do as I say. Tell them Papa is dead.
Papa, this is nonsense. I've given you a complete examination. You're not dead. You're in perfect health.
You I do not need any more. Peter, you give me a good funeral. I want plumed horses.
Papa, don't talk like that. You don't need any funeral.
What am I to do? Just sit here? A dead man?
You see, boys, you see how it is, eh?
Sometimes happens in a man of his age. Might be only temporary. I think we should put him in a sanitarium.
No!
Huh?
Are you forgetting who Papa is, the head of whole family?
Mama, in his present
Oh,
condition.
to the old country here in America, everywhere there are Caesarians. He's the head. Oh, just think what happened if they heard Papa had gone crazy.
We could keep it quiet, Mama.
No. News get out somewhere. It would be the end of everything.
But, Mama...
wait, Mama's right. I've been thinking of something else.
Yes?
What about us, you and me? We've got our careers to think of.
But I told you, these things are only temporary.
All the more reason for not putting Papa away. If it's only temporary, then why can't we care for him here?
Well, I suppose we could.
Papa, where are you going?
Where can the dead man go? To walk the streets?
Don't let him out. Humor, do something, Armand.
Papa, I don't think you'd better go out. After all, maybe you really are dead, like you say. And in that case...
Papa, I'll give you a wonderful funeral. You'll see the best in town.
With plumed horses?
Yes, Papa, plumed horses, if you'll only do what we tell you. And stay in the house. Mama Kazarian didn't have to tell me any more. They humored Papa so that he'd stay in the house, hoping his madness would pass, and his family and the rest of the clan would not be disgraced. But one morning he escaped, and that's when I met him. When he took me to his son, Dr. Herrick, and told him I was a newspaper man, the doc thought everything was about to fall apart, so he went along with Papa's madness. And so did Corell and the others. That's why I was followed. That's why Shoulders slugged me. That's why they all came to my room later to try to talk to me. I promised to keep their confidence, ate some of Mama's cookies, shook hands all around, and left. But as I was walking through the yard toward the street, a window opened.
Young man.
Hmm?
Come over here. Over to the window.
Oh, Mr. Kazarian. Okay, sure.
If you keep your voice down, I don't want them to hear. But you are a nice young man. I feel in you an understanding. That is why I talk to you in the park. That is why I talk to you now.
What do you mean?
They tell you now, how say I am cracked in the head, insane, because I say I am dead. Maybe so, but let me tell you this. For 22 years, while I was not dead, and while I was sane, I worked 12, 14 hours a day. I never saw the sun. I never had time to think, to remember the old days. Only work and work. Then my boys left me. And even my name they don't want. The name Kazarian. And then Mama and me was left alone. Yeah, that was the way it was when I was sane and alive. So, one morning I wake up and I say, okay, if that is how it is when I'm alive, I no longer wish to be alive. I am dead. Now, my sons come fast, I tell you. They say, no, he is not dead. He is insane. All right, I am too old to argue. But now that I am insane, I no longer lift even this little finger. No work, no worry. And my boys stay with us constantly, like the old days. I snap my fingers and they shiver. Now, today I think maybe Armand is getting too smart again, so I bring you to his office. Did you see what happens? Did you see what happened?
Why, you old faker.
So, what do you say I should do? Should I call them in and say, okay, I am not dead, I'm alive, and give up everything I got now, so they can say I am sane again? Well, should I, young man? Should I?
Oh, Papa, if you did that, it would only prove one thing.
And what is that?
Well, if you called them in and told them the truth, you'd be the craziest man alive. All this and a moral, too, huh? All right, I'll give you a moral. All Papa Kazarian wanted was not to be left out in the cold. I guess maybe that's just about what all of us want. To be needed by somebody, to be loved by somebody. And why not? Is that such a big deal? In all this cockeyed, crazy world, what else do any of us ever really have? Except each other. Copy boy... Oh, no, what am I saying? Copy boy. This was my day off. Remember?
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Night Beat is written and edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music is by Frank Worth. Papa was played by Ben Wright. Betty Lou Gerson played Mama. Others in tonight's cast were Jeff Corey, Lou Krugman, and Paul Duboff. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began on an elevated train and ended in eternity.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
The night is just about washed up. The sky is getting that tattletale gray around the edges. Another hour or so, 3 million alarm clocks will start yakking against the eardrums of Chicago's dear hearts and gentle people. And a goodly number of said dear hearts and gentle people will stumble to the front door for their copy of the Morning Star. I'm wondering what they'll say when they read the opening sentence of the Night Beat story for today. The line that goes, "This is a love story with the happiest ending I've ever heard." I guess they'll figure spring has got me in its perfume clutches, and more than likely I'll wind up around a bologna sandwich, and that'll be that. Only if they just keep reading, maybe they'll be in for a strange kind of surprise. It started a little after 10 o'clock last night. I just boarded an elevated train and was on my way to the Loop. The train was pretty crowded, but I saw an empty seat up front, and I hurried for it. I started sitting down without looking.
Anton, where have you been?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I've waited so long, Anton.
The girl sitting next to me. I noticed her for the first time. About 20, maybe. And so beautiful, so delicately beautiful, it was like your eyes had hit the jackpot, and somehow the grinding elevator train suddenly sounded like a gypsy violin.
Oh, Anton, you shouldn't have gone away.
Look, I hate to tell you this, but I think you've got me mixed up.
Oh, it's so good to hear you, to be near you, Anton. So good.
Yeah, it's good to be near you, too, kid. But...
Won't ever go away again, will you?
I'd like to stay here forever.
Promise me, Anton. Promise me you'll never go away.
Beautiful as she was, it started giving me the creeps. If I'd been Anton, I'd have enjoyed it immensely, but being as how I was two other guys, I didn't see it. And also there was something about her eyes, a disturbing brightness. I didn't know what to do about it, and before I could decide,
Lake Street transfer.
I reached my transfer station. I started getting up.
Anton, no, don't go.
Oh, lady, look, it's my station.
Don't leave me again, Anton. Please, no.
Now, take it easy. Let go of me. What's wrong with you? This is my station.
Anton, I can't let you leave me again. I won't.
Well, you'll just have to, kiddo. Now let go. My slaves are. She folded up like a little rag doll into a dead faint. I bent over her, picked up her arm to massage her wrist. It was like touching a hot stove. She was burning up with fever. Passengers in the car were crowding around. The conductor still hadn't given the signal for the train to leave the station. I picked the girl up in my arms. It was like lifting a 10-year-old kid. She must have weighed a fast 90 pounds. I carried her out of the train onto the platform. Someone called for an ambulance. She was still unconscious when the ambulance came. She looked so small and so lost and so alone. And, well, according to her, I was Anton, so the least Anton could do would be to sit beside her on the long ride to the hospital. She was still out cold when we reached County Hospital. They found her name and address inside her purse. Mrs. Marisha Nowak, 612 Larrabee Street. I waited around to see what was wrong with her. After almost an hour, they said I could go upstairs and talk to the doctor.
Oh, Mr. Stone?
Oh, yes. Doctor, I wanted to see you about that girl I brought in, Marisha Nowak.
Yes. A relative of yours?
Oh, no. I just met her tonight.
No. I'm afraid we've got to contact some relative right away.
Nothing you can do for her, huh?
Do for her? Poor kid's been sick for years and waits till she's dying before she comes to a hospital.
Well, it takes money to go to a hospital, Doc.
Not here. Why didn't she come here? What's wrong with these people? Are they proud or stupid? 3 years ago, maybe we could have done something for her, but now...
Well, yeah.
I don't know, Mr. Stone. I don't know. It's completely frustrating. You study medicine, what good does it do? Sometimes life doesn't seem to make any sense.
Since when is it supposed to make sense?
I sound like this is my first patient. Not very professional, I'm afraid.
But don't worry about it. It's human.
This girl keeps talking about her husband, Anton.
Well, she was talking that way when I met her.
Yes, he's supposed to take her away someplace, to Mexico, she says, where it's warm and she'll get well. What do they expect? Miracles?
Oh, sure, miracles. Maybe Mexico was going to be her miracle.
Do you have any idea how to contact her husband?
But doesn't the girl know where he is?
Doesn't seem to, even when she's not delirious. Got an address from her purse, a place over on Larrabee Street, north of Chicago Avenue.
Yes, I know that neighborhood. Furnished rooms with kitchen privileges. Bring your own mousetraps. Lovely.
No phone listing. I was thinking of calling the police.
Yeah.
Trouble is, there's so little time.
Well, how much time?
I don't know. Could happen 5 minutes from now. 5 hours.
Well, tell you what, I'll drop by her address and see what I can find out.
Doctor, she's conscious again. Rational. She wants to talk to you.
All right, nurse. Care to see her, Mr. Stone?
Yeah. The doc turned and walked into the room, and I followed him. That's a nice, promising beginning for a love story with a happy ending, Only when we got inside Marisha Nowak's room, the joke was on me. There was no hearts and flowers. She was even more beautiful than before. Her black hair spread out on the white pillow, her delicate face, and the lovely eyes following us as we came into the room. No fear in those eyes. None at all. Just a sort of questioning.
Doctor, have you found him yet?
Not yet, Marisha. We're still trying. This is Mr. Stone. He's trying to help us locate your husband.
Oh, I hope you find him. Poor Anton. He'll feel so bad if you don't find him in time.
Well, of course he will. That's why the doctor'd like you to tell me anything you can that might help us find him.
But I told the doctor. He went to find work, my Anton, so he could take me away where I could get well and could be a wife to him.
Does it bother you to talk? Does it tire you?
No. No, I like talking about him. And there's so little time.
Doctor said you were planning on going to Mexico.
To Las Flores, the little town of the flowers in Veracruz. My ring is from Mexico. See? Silver and turquoise.
It's nice.
We were married with 2 rings. Exactly alike. Silver and turquoise.
You think Anton could have gone there, to Mexico?
No. No, he'd never have gone there without me. The little town of the flowers. Like we planned on our honeymoon. Just like it said in the travel folder. The thousands of blossoms on the water. Perfuming the air. But we went to a real hotel here in Chicago on our honeymoon. Anton insisted on it, even though we couldn't afford it. It was in the winter, and it was cold in Chicago like now. Icicles hung from the trees, breaking the branches. But in the room it was warm. And we had